Okay, you know, in Business Science Institute, we cannot be late. So it's 1 minute after the beginning, the formal beginning of this session. So maybe we can now begin. First of all, I would like to tell you that I feel happy because of this graduation ceremony. Of course, I am happy because it's a great day. Will be a great ceremony. But I feel also a little bit sad when I see the photo of Ville's castle and the photo of the previous graduation ceremony face to face. And really, I hope that. In spring, I hope that next year we will be face to face and we will be able to be together and to drink a cup of coffee together face to face. So we can say now, hello, Professor Marie-Christine Chalus-Sauvanet, thank you for coming. So we can say that this graduation ceremony is now open. It is the 7th International Week, and it is our also graduation ceremony, a very important ceremony at the end of this week that beginning on Monday with a presentation of new books, with conferences about what the faculty of Business Science Institute is doing. And on Monday, we had also, of course, the defense of the certificate and then the defenses of the thesis. So maybe we can now specify that, nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect. Even some doctor, some doctors that don't understand French. And some presentation will be in French. And so we use a technological tool, a new technological tool identified by Hugo. It's an interpretation functionality from Zoom. And so generally the people will be speaking in English, but when some people will speak in French, you will have the opportunity to click on the interpretation button, and the interpretation button is on the Zoom bottom bar. And then you click to the language that you would like to hear. And please, you click on English and not on another language, because Stephen can translate from French to English, but don't ask German or Hebrew or Russian. Not today, maybe next year. Okay, so I hope that is clear. If it is not clear, ask to the support team. So you click on the interpretation button and then you select English, and you will see that you have just-in-time translation, and normally it will work. I think we are among the first to use this functionality. That's what Hugo told me, and I repeat what he said. So we can now introduce the agenda of this ceremony. First of all, I will have to tell you some word about the Business Science Institute today. And then I will ask to Professor Chevalier from HEC to introduce Laurent Fébis, Mr. Laurent Fébis, because today it's an event for us. It's also an event for Laurent Fébis. We will be very happy to award to give the doctorate honoris causa to Mr. Fébis, and it will be an important time in this ceremony. And then Mr. Fébis will have the time to answer. And next, I will ask to Professor Sivabalan from UTS, our partner, the Business School of the University of Technology of Sydney, which award with Business Science Institute the certificate. And then we will go to the graduation ceremony, the DBA graduation ceremony, and Professor Chalus-Sauvanet from IAE Lyon School of Management, University of Lyon 3. We will present the graduation of the DBA ceremony. And then at the end, we will give the floor to Professor Elfer, who is the president of the Academic Committee of Business Science Institute. He will manage the result of the DBA Managerial Impact Prize for this year. And finally, we will have a graduation, a group photo, and we will have the pleasure to share some drink together. So, a few words on Business Science Institute today. What are we? We are an international academic network dedicated to executive doctorate in business administration with only one program. And I must say that that's quite exceptional. You know, generally the institution, they have different programs, and among these programs, they have a DBA. We have only one DBA. When I was young, I was teaching strategy, and we can call that a specialization strategy. All our competencies are focused on one program, the DBA. Today, we have more than 220 executive students coming from different countries. Yesterday, it was 43, and today, I must say, it is 49, so it changes every day. So it means that we are quite unique also on that point, because we are an important program with more than 200 DBA students. I can say that's quite exceptional in the world. There is another point that is exceptional. We are a program based on a huge, in terms of quantity, but also in terms of quality, international professor. We have an exceptional faculty, and it is one of the pillars of the executive DBA. We have more than 100 international professors. You must know that during this week, 75 have been available to participate to the defenses, to participate to the session, to present their book. And also, I can say that that's quite exceptional. Yesterday we had 80 theses defended, and today we can say that we have 108 theses defended, and I can say that's also quite exceptional at the international level. And the last point that is makes us unique is that we publish books. You know, since the beginning, we consider that it's important for a DBA program to publish book, not only academic article in academic journal read only by the faculty. We decided to focus on books because when we publish books, we can transfer the knowledge of the professor to the doctoral students, and we can transfer the knowledge created by our doctoral students to the manager, to the whole people, to all company, and to the whole society. So in this new world, I want to convince you that thanks to the professor, thanks to our support team, we did a great job. And you know, after the 28 defenses that I have seen this week, I can say that the quality of the thesis is quite exceptional, and we have seen exceptional production of knowledge in different fields, in different sectors, in different industry, in different country, of course. That's what I wanted to tell you, and I can tell you also that all the colleagues are very impressed by the different defenses of the thesis. Thank you for participating. And so now it's an important part in this ceremony. I will ask to Professeur Françoise Chevalier. Je vais demander au professeur Françoise Chevalier de prendre la parole pour présenter Laurent Fébis, qui recevra le docteur honoris causa du Business Science Institute. Professeur Chevalier.
Merci beaucoup, professeur Kalika. Alors, chers membres de la communauté universitaire, mesdames et messieurs les professeurs, chers collègues, mesdames et messieurs les doctorants, chers étudiants, mesdames et messieurs les docteurs, chers amis, c'est vraiment avec grand plaisir que j'ouvre cette cérémonie virtuelle de remise du titre de docteur honoris causa du Business Science Institute à Monsieur Laurent Fébis, président de Xerfi Canal. Créé en 1918, le titre de docteur honoris causa est l'une des plus prestigieuses distinctions décernées par les universités françaises pour honorer des personnalités en raison de services éminents rendus aux sciences, aux lettres ou aux arts, à la France ou à l'université. Laurent Fébis, vous êtes un acteur reconnu de l'entreprise académique étendue. Vous êtes aussi un acteur essentiel de l'économie de la connaissance et vous êtes aussi musicien. Alors, en ce qui concerne l'entreprise académique étendue, le Business Science Institute en est un très bel exemple. Institution académique internationale en réseau, le Business Science Institute a pour objet le développement d'un Executive Doctorate in Business Administration, le DBA, au plan international, à distance et en face à face. La création de cette entreprise académique étendue, elle résulte de constats et de convictions. Le constat, la demande émanant de managers d'entreprise ayant une expérience, une expertise professionnelle conséquente et qui souhaitent poursuivre une réflexion post-MBA, de transformer leur expérience en connaissances et de la partager. Les convictions, c'est que les interactions entre managers, entrepreneurs et chercheurs en gestion sont source d'enrichissement mutuel. Créé en 2013, le Business Science Institute reçoit 7 ans plus tard, en décembre 2020, l'accréditation internationale AMBA et au printemps 2021 est créée la revue Impact pour présenter les travaux offrant un intérêt particulier en termes d'impact, non seulement académique, mais aussi managériaux et sociétaux. Et le professeur Michel Kalika vient de rappeler en introduction un certain nombre de chiffres parlants, plus de 100 professeurs, 49 nationalités présentes, 108 thèses soutenues, 45 ouvrages publiés. Ces quelques chiffres témoignent de l'énergie collective de talents individuels d'une communauté qui est animée par un même projet, celui de la création de connaissances par le terrain, pour le terrain et avec le terrain, par et pour les managers. Et plus encore, me semble-t-il, ces réalisations témoignent de cet engagement et de cet optimisme entrepreneurial qui sont marques de fabrique de la communauté académique réunie aujourd'hui. Laurent Fébis, acteur reconnu de l'entreprise académique étendue, vous êtes aussi un acteur essentiel de l'économie de la connaissance. Économiste et entrepreneur, vous êtes le dirigeant fondateur de l'Institut d'études économiques Xerfi, qui aujourd'hui est leader en France des études sectorielles, qui publie chaque année plusieurs centaines de rapports au plan français et international. Vous contribuez à la diffusion en France des méthodes d'analyse sectorielle pluridisciplinaire alliant les sciences économiques et les différentes disciplines de la gestion et du management, stratégie, marketing, analyse financière, en privilégiant l'analyse empirique à la modélisation. Xerfi, dites-vous, c'est l'économie réelle. Ces études, elles sont utilisées pour comprendre l'environnement économique et stratégique des secteurs et des entreprises. Elles sont utilisées comme outil d'aide à la décision. Les grandes entreprises, les établissements bancaires et financiers, les cabinets d'audit et de conseil, les PME et les ETI, les organisations professionnelles, l'administration utilisent vos études sectorielles. Économistes, entrepreneurs, vous êtes aussi innovateurs et passeurs. Passeurs entre le monde des affaires et le monde académique. Vous êtes, en reprenant la terminologie de Michel Crozier et Erhard Friedberg, un marginal séquent. Le marginal séquent, c'est cet acteur qui est partie prenante dans plusieurs systèmes d'action en relation les uns avec les autres et qui peut, de ce fait, jouer un rôle indispensable d'intermédiaire et d'interprète entre des logiques d'action différentes. Ainsi, vous êtes le directeur de la rédaction de Xerfi Canal, la web TV de référence sur l'économie, la stratégie et le management des entreprises. Xerfi Canal est destiné aux décideurs de l'économie. La revue audiovisuelle dispose de 4 chaînes thématiques: Xerfi Canal Économie, Stratégie et Management, Xerfi Business et Fenêtre ouverte sur la gestion. Xerfi Canal donne la parole aux experts de multiples horizons, économistes, géopolitologues, chercheurs en management et en sciences humaines, leaders d'opinion. Nombre d'enseignants-chercheurs partagent leurs travaux de recherche et leurs réflexions sur Xerfi. Vous offrez ainsi une base de vidéos tout à fait exceptionnelle en économie et en gestion. À ce jour, plus de 10 000 vidéos ont été enregistrées et diffusées sur une plateforme dédiée et sur YouTube. Économistes et entrepreneurs, innovateurs et passeurs entre le monde des affaires et le monde académique, cher Laurent, vous assurez ainsi une fonction essentielle pour le milieu académique et pour le milieu des entreprises, les faisant communiquer de la plus large manière possible. Vous valorisez ainsi la recherche en management et vous faites bouger les lignes, vous faites bouger les frontières. Vous créez ce lien indispensable entre création de connaissances et dissémination des connaissances au service de la création de valeur. Le secteur de l'économie de la connaissance crée de la valeur au service de la création d'avantages compétitifs. Le secteur de l'économie de la connaissance, dont vous êtes un acteur essentiel, c'est un secteur qui est quantifié au niveau de l'Europe avec le plan commun de recherche et de développement, le PCRD, mais c'est un secteur qui n'existe pas dans la comptabilité nationale. Or, la connaissance représente bien l'actif de demain. D'ailleurs, c'est même le seul actif qui, si on le partage, voit sa valeur augmenter. Être acteur dans ce domaine de l'économie de la connaissance demande une opiniâtreté hors du commun face à la concurrence, notamment anglo-saxonne. À cet égard, votre présence dans le monde de l'édition numérique alimentée par des observatoires sectoriels à base d'enquêtes, cette présence, elle est unanimement reconnue et saluée, tout comme l'est votre présence dans le monde académique par le travail continu de valorisation de la recherche que vous menez. Autre point, celui de la francophonie. La langue française, c'est aujourd'hui près de 300 millions de locuteurs. Elle représentera, la langue française, plus de 820 millions de personnes à l'horizon 2050, dont la grande majorité se trouvera sur le continent africain. La création de connaissances et la diffusion de connaissances adaptées va être déterminante dans les prochaines années. D'autres acteurs anglo-saxons, comme par exemple la Khan Academy, se préparent activement à cette opportunité de la diffusion de connaissances en langue française. Dans ce contexte, Xerfi Canal participe activement à la mise à l'honneur de la francophonie, permettant de voir le monde sous un autre angle et, en même temps, d'enrichir le prisme de la réflexion au niveau international. Laurent Favis, vous êtes un acteur reconnu de l'entreprise académique étendue. Vous êtes un acteur essentiel de l'économie de la connaissance. Vous êtes aussi musicien. La musique, c'est cette ultime base de connaissances largement partagée aujourd'hui. La musique donne une âme à nos cœurs et des ailes à la pensée, selon Platon. Et, nous dit Nietzsche, il faut avoir une grande musique en soi si l'on veut faire danser la vie. Eh bien, c'est l'énergie vitale de l'entrepreneuriat, du monde des affaires et du monde académique qui se trouve ici réunis aujourd'hui. Cher Laurent, pour votre parcours d'entrepreneur qui transforme profondément l'espace de création et de diffusion des savoirs, qui développe la transversalité entre les mondes universitaires et entreprises, qui se focalise sur la création d'impact, non seulement académiques, mais aussi managériaux, pour toutes ces valeurs en correspondance étroite avec celles du DBA, du Business Science Institute, et au nom de toute la communauté universitaire aujourd'hui réunie, nous sommes très heureux de vous remettre aujourd'hui le prix de docteur honoris causa du Business Science Institute.
Merci
Je vous
beaucoup.
remercie.
Merci beaucoup, professeur Françoise Chevalier, pour cette intervention élogieuse, empreinte de vérité. Je passe la parole au professeur Jean-Pierre Elfer, président du comité académique.
So, dear Laurent Fabius, post certainly it's not relevant to add something after the speech, François Chevalier's speech. You know, I'm speaking on behalf of the academic committee, and the academic committee decided some weeks ago to grant you as a doctor honoris causa. On peut se demander pourquoi PSI décide de remettre un titre de docteur honoris causa chaque année. Eh bien parce que lorsqu'on est une entreprise académique élargie, étendue, ainsi que cela a été mentionné, il est important pour nous de célébrer une personne qui soit absolument au cœur de ce qu'est notre ADN. And certainly impact, development. Durant, finally, we decided that you can receive this grant because your nickname can be Mr. Bridge or Mr. Go-Between or Mr. Loudspeaker for the academic community. And certainly you are absolutely in the heart of the exchanges between management, between the true life, I can say true life, and the academic committee. We will deliver in some minutes the titles of doctors, DBA doctors for some of our students. And it's really a great pleasure for us to first give you this grant. Proud and honor. C'est sûr que pour nous, c'est à la fois une grande fierté et un honneur de vous reconnaître ce titre aujourd'hui. C'est un titre qui est, Françoise le mentionnait tout à l'heure, un titre honorifique extrêmement important. But dear Lord Fabius, it means that in some minutes we can say, dear colleague, about that, and vous célébrez, vous saluez comme un extraordinaire passeur entre les différents milieux que nous sommes. Et nous vous devons un très grand remerciement. Nous savons les uns et les autres qu'il est important de sortir de nos réseaux pour aller vers le maximum d'audience dans tout ce qui est fabriqué à l'intérieur de la communauté académique. Et vous en êtes une pièce essentielle. Votre rôle fut, votre rôle est et votre rôle sera absolument prioritaire dans cette organisation. Chers collègues, nous sommes Michel Kalika, moi-même, au nom de l'Academic Committee, extrêmement honorés, très heureux, à la fois comme complices et comme amis de ce que vous êtes dans notre communauté nationale et internationale, de vous remettre ce titre de docteur honoris causa du Business Science Institute. Merci et bravo.
Merci beaucoup, professeur Elfer. Toutes mes félicitations personnelles et institutionnelles, cher Laurent Fébis. Un mot résume ce que vous faites. Vous créez de l'impact. Vous créez de l'impact managérial au travers de la diffusion des connaissances de nos facultés, de nos professeurs, de nos docteurs. Merci à vous, Laurent Fébis. Je vous passe la parole. Laurent Fébis, votre micro, s'il vous plaît. Laurent Fébis, votre micro, s'il vous plaît.
You can listen.
Hugo, on a un problème de micro?
Non, Laurent B.
You can listen to me.
Ça fonctionne.
OK.
It works. It works now.
Yes,
It is.
c'est bon.
Thank you. I'm sorry for this accident. Thank you very much, Professor Kalika, Professor Chevalier, and Professor Elfer for this title. I will speak in French, and I will speak slowly because of the translation. I'm sorry not to speak English. I'm not so fluent. Je dois vous avouer à quel point je suis honoré et ému de recevoir ce titre de docteur honoris causa, et d'autant plus flatté qu'il me soit remis par le Business Science Institute, qui s'est donné pour mission de contribuer à la structuration de connaissances non seulement théoriques, mais aussi d'expériences concrètes, empiriques et pragmatiques de managers et dirigeants d'entreprise. Moi-même, je ne suis pas un académique, j'y reviendrai peut-être, je suis peut-être un académique frustré, et c'est peut-être parce que je suis un académique frustré que je suis devenu chef d'entreprise, mais c'est un peu l'ironie de l'histoire. En vérité, ce titre de docteur honoris causa vient réparer une vieille blessure qui date d'il y a 40 ans. Je suis issu personnellement d'un milieu très modeste culturellement, ni mon père ni ma mère n'ayant même le certificat d'études. J'ai eu la chance de faire des études longues, des études très longues. Une école de commerce, à l'époque on ne disait pas une business school, c'était une école de commerce. Sciences Po Paris, un DEA à Dauphine, un 3e cycle de prospective et stratégie au CNAM. Mais comme il fallait bien travailler pour financer de si longues études, j'ai été parallèlement chargé de cours dans une université de Seine-Saint-Denis, une université qui était, je dois le dire, peu fréquentée par les enfants de cadres supérieurs que j'avais eu l'honneur de côtoyer dans les grandes institutions parisiennes. Et puis, je suis devenu consultant et analyste financier dans l'industrie pharmaceutique et les biotechnologies. Je vais vous expliquer ça parce que je vais vous expliquer un petit peu mon parcours et la création de Xerfi à travers des anecdotes impressionnistes, puisqu'on a fait quelques références à l'art. Donc, je travaillais pour l'industrie pharmaceutique et biotechnologie en tant que consultant. J'ai travaillé pour de grands groupes, ce qui m'a permis de connaître cette industrie de l'intérieur, d'en côtoyer les dirigeants et d'analyser la stratégie de chacun des grands groupes mondiaux. Il y en avait une cinquantaine à l'époque. Nous étions en 1980. M'est alors venue l'idée saugrenue, j'étais déjà dans la vie professionnelle, dans le privé, donc m'est venue l'idée saugrenue pour parfaire mon cursus académique, mais aussi par goût de la réflexion intellectuelle qui ne m'a jamais quitté, de préparer une thèse de doctorat, il y a 40 ans, il y a longtemps, il y a 40 ans. Et je me suis adressé à un professeur prestigieux, vous permettrez d'en taire le nom, un professeur d'économie industrielle, celui-là même qui avait importé en France le courant de l'Industrial Economics et qui avait introduit en France les travaux de Frédéric Scherrer. La principale préoccupation de Scherrer, pour ceux qui se souviennent de ce nom, c'est l'un des pères de l'économie industrielle et de la stratégie d'ailleurs, était la lutte contre les monopoles et les lois antitrust. À l'époque, on faisait de l'économie industrielle. La question aux États-Unis, c'était les lois antitrust. Et puis, au même moment, concomitamment, j'étais à New York et j'ai découvert par hasard, en fouillant dans la librairie Barnes & Noble, qu'est-ce que c'était agréable à l'époque de fouiller dans les librairies, de passer des heures dans la librairie, puis Barnes & Noble, Fifth Avenue, c'était vraiment quelque chose d'extraordinaire. J'ai découvert, en fouillant, la première édition du livre de Michael Porter, Competitive Strategy. Nous étions en 1980. Personne, ou presque, ne connaissait Michael Porter en France. Et on n'avait pas grand-chose en termes d'outils d'analyse stratégique à l'époque. Michael Porter était peu connu, alors professeur à la Harvard Business School tout de même, et il parvenait avec son livre Competitive Strategy à retourner à l'envers le corpus intellectuel de la lutte contre les rentes de monopole et à en faire exactement l'inverse, une méthode d'analyse concurrentielle pour apprendre aux entreprises comment construire des barrières à l'entrée, obtenir de meilleures performances que ses concurrences en établissant des rentes de monopole. Ça, c'est assez fabuleux. On retourne une théorie en son contraire et on en fait un outil didactique. C'est pour moi quelque chose de fondateur et je vais utiliser une expression que j'emploierai souvent dans mon exposé, vous me pardonnerez, ce n'est pas très académique, j'ai fait « waouh ». Je me suis alors lancé dans une thèse sur la stratégie des groupes mondiaux de l'industrie pharmaceutique. Pour cela, j'ai d'abord rédigé 50 monographies, très bien documentées, étaient bien placées pour le faire, qui décrivaient minutieusement les stratégies de croissance des principales multinationales. J'ai alors proposé à mon directeur de thèse de tirer de ces 50 monographies, on était déjà à 300-400 pages, une synthèse théorique d'une cinquantaine de pages avec toutes les références et toutes les références intellectuelles indispensables pour en dégager des conclusions théoriques. Et c'est là qu'est arrivée la catastrophe. J'ai provoqué la colère de mon directeur de thèse et je me suis fait proprement injurier. Je m'en souviens comme si c'était hier, c'était dans les locaux de la FNEJ à Paris. Monsieur, une thèse, ce n'est pas un rapport de stage. Ici, dans cette université prestigieuse, je ne vais pas vous donner le nom de l'université qui est effectivement prestigieuse, nous faisons de la recherche, de la vraie recherche. On ne raconte pas des histoires sur telle entreprise ou telle entreprise. Ça a été très, très marquant pour moi et je n'ai jamais réessayé de faire une thèse. Et voilà pourquoi aujourd'hui je suis très ému de recevoir un titre de docteur honoris causa. Donc j'ai abandonné cette idée de thèse et je dois aussi ajouter que la discipline académique d'économie industrielle a pratiquement disparu des radars, pas simplement parce que les lois antitrust ont perdu de leur impact, mais aussi en France, la discipline qui était plutôt orientée en France vers les politiques industrielles, s'est estompée depuis. Et la stratégie elle-même, l'enseignement de la stratégie et de la recherche en stratégie est devenu l'apanage des business schools et est sorti de l'université en France. J'ai une autre anecdote structurante à vous raconter, et je vous ai dit que je vous raconterai des anecdotes. Je travaillais donc pour l'industrie pharmaceutique sur des stratégies de croissance externe. J'ai eu l'opportunité de déjeuner un jour avec l'un des dirigeants, avec le dirigeant plutôt, de l'une des principales multinationales pharmaceutiques françaises, qui était en même temps le président du syndicat de l'industrie pharmaceutique. Et lors de ce déjeuner qui a été fondateur pour moi et qui a... Là, je suis en train de vous raconter toutes les petites briques qui m'ont amené petit à petit à créer Xerfi. Lors de ce déjeuner, il s'est passé deux événements. Ce président était parfaitement informé de tout ce qui se passait dans l'industrie pharmaceutique, chez ses concurrents. Il avait beaucoup d'informations, il était très informé. Mais je me suis rendu compte que son information était constituée d'atomes d'informations. C'était une espèce de database. Alors à l'époque, on n'avait pas de base de données, mais une base d'informations extraordinaire, mais il n'était pas en mesure de structurer cette information et d'en tirer des conclusions stratégiques. Ce n'était pas sa compétence. Donc lorsqu'il avait besoin de faire une analyse stratégique, eh bien, il allait voir un cabinet de conseil, un des grands noms de la place que vous connaissez, et il leur demandait de l'aider à structurer ses propres informations. Et vous savez tous ce qu'on dit des consultants, ils vous demandent votre montre pour vous donner l'heure. C'était à peu près ça. Et moi, alors, petit genou, je dois vous dire que j'avais 32 ans, je me suis permis de le convaincre qu'il devait revendre ses activités de diversification dans les parfums en mobilisant des informations que moi-même, j'avais structurées lors de ma thèse. C'est l'idée des études sectorielles qui est alors apparue dans mon esprit. Les entreprises manquent de documents structurés sur les secteurs pour bien se situer, pour avoir cette vision large et structurée de l'information. Alors, deuxième événement, toujours lors de ce déjeuner fondateur, en quelque sorte, entre le dessert, le café et la cigarette, à l'époque, je dois vous avouer que je fumais 2 paquets par jour. Enfin, j'ai arrêté depuis 25 ans. J'ai arrêté, je crois que je suis monté à 3 paquets. Entre le dessert, le café et la cigarette, je lui pose une question. Je ne me souviens pas exactement de la question, mais je n'ai certainement pas oublié la réponse. Ce président d'un grand groupe pharmaceutique, président du syndicat de l'industrie pharmaceutique de l'époque, me répond, vous savez, nous, dans l'industrie pharmaceutique, nous consacrons tellement d'argent et d'énergie à intoxiquer l'opinion et les pouvoirs publics pour obtenir des autorisations de mise sur le marché et de bons prix pour nos médicaments, que je ne sais même pas moi-même ce qui est vrai et ce qui est faux. Et voilà un deuxième élément qui est un peu fondateur dans mon esprit, apporter de l'information rigoureuse, honnête, extérieure au monde du business, mais vers le monde du business, leur apporter de la valeur ajoutée intellectuelle honnête, c'est énormément de valeur ajoutée. Et là, j'ai encore fait « waouh !» mais je vais vous le refaire encore plusieurs fois. Alors, nous étions au milieu des années 80. il n'y avait pas à l'époque de base de données électroniques, il n'y avait pas de Google, il n'y avait pas de réseaux sociaux, on ne parlait pas encore de fake news, ni d'infox, mais je découvrais ma vocation, bâtir un système d'analyse totalement indépendant sur les secteurs d'activité. Alors le mot indépendance a beaucoup d'importance parce qu'il a fallu trouver, on ne disait pas encore business model, il fallait trouver un modèle économique qui permettait d'être totalement indépendant, pluridisciplinaire et basé, je reviens à Porter, sur cette cuisine méthodologique que j'avais trouvée chez Michael Porter et qui a été encore très peu répandue en France. On était en 1984-1985 pour apporter aux banques et aux entreprises une analyse rigoureuse, objective et indépendante. C'est ainsi qu'en 85, 4 ans après l'apparition de Competitive Strategy, j'ai basculé et je suis devenu entrepreneur. Pardon, j'aurais dû dire à l'époque, on ne disait pas entrepreneur, aujourd'hui c'est très à la mode, entrepreneur, start-upper, petit patron. À l'époque, en 85, j'étais petit patron et j'ai créé la société Precepta, qui est en vérité l'ancêtre de Xerfi. Et je parlais tout à l'heure de business model qui assurait l'indépendance. Plutôt que de travailler à la demande des clients, j'ai décidé de créer une société d'édition, c'est-à-dire de prendre un risque industriel. Nous réalisons une étude. Nous ne savons pas s'il va y avoir des acheteurs, mais nous écrivons de façon totalement indépendante et sans flatter personne, avec toute l'honnêteté intellectuelle que nous pouvons avoir. Et nous essayons de la vendre. Ça a marché. De la chance, ça a marché. Ça a marché, et puis année après année, nous avons trouvé des abonnés, nous avons démultiplié les clients, les abonnés, et toujours selon ce même modèle économique qui assure notre indépendance, non seulement financière, mais aussi intellectuelle, de décider nous-mêmes des titres, du contenu des études, sans jamais se plier à la demande des clients. J'avais connu dans le conseil, je dois le dire, j'avais connu cette aventure, je fais un petit flashback, de me retrouver à plusieurs reprises dans des situations où la réponse était dans la question. C'est très désagréable de se trouver dans ce genre de situation, que la réponse soit dans la question. Alors, cette société Precepta a eu la chance de se développer très rapidement. Et en 5 ans, nous avons eu une filiale à Londres, on avait 35 personnes à Londres, à Düsseldorf, à Milan, on était financé par du capital investissement. Nous faisions 100-150% de croissance par an, ce qui est super. Tout marchait bien. Et puis survient la crise de 1991. Patatras. Cette crise, certains d'entre vous s'en souviennent certainement, en termes d'emploi, d'activité, etc., elle a été bien pire que toutes les crises qui ont suivi. Alors la crise, bien entendu, la crise de la Covid-19 n'est pas comparable puisque l'État s'est mobilisé pour épauler les entreprises et les citoyens. À l'époque, personne ne nous a aidés. Et ma petite entreprise, qui avait quand même 150 salariés, est descendue aux enfers et cela s'est terminé par un dépôt de bilan. Mais le plus important, ce n'est même pas le dépôt de bilan. Ce qui m'avait frappé, c'était l'erreur des économistes, et moi-même en tant qu'économiste, parce qu'à l'époque, je me considérais comme économiste, l'erreur de ne pas avoir vu la crise. Et pourtant, cette crise, elle était facile, extrêmement facile. Alors, ex post, c'est toujours facile après de dire ah ben, c'était sous nos yeux. Parce que nous, économistes, nous travaillons, et beaucoup d'économistes travaillent encore ainsi, top-down. C'est-à-dire, on construit des modèles macroéconomiques de façon économétrique, et puis on en dérive éventuellement des éléments d'analyse sectorielle. Et j'ai compris qu'il fallait travailler exactement à l'envers. Il fallait travailler à partir de la base, bottom-up, et pour travailler bottom-up, il fallait se plonger dans les disciplines de la gestion. Il fallait travailler sur l'analyse financière, il fallait travailler sur le marketing, il fallait travailler sur la science des organisations, etc., etc. Et vous connaissez tous, je n'ai pas à vous l'expliquer, la frontière extraordinaire qui existe toujours et qui s'accroît sans arrêt, je dirais presque, et que nous essayons de combler à Xerfi, entre les disciplines de gestion et les sciences économiques. Et pour revenir à cet élément incidentel que peu d'économistes avaient vu, il suffisait de regarder les comptes des entreprises, ce qu'on ne voit pas dans des éléments économétriques et macroéconomiques, sur les secteurs d'activité et sur le PIB. Il suffisait de regarder les comptes des entreprises en 91 pour voir que les entreprises étaient surendettées, que les taux d'intérêt étaient en train de flamber en Europe à cause de la réunification allemande et que les frais financiers étaient en train d'absorber la totalité des marges opérationnelles, ou une très grande partie des marges opérationnelles, d'où la crise. Cette crise n'avait rien à voir avec la guerre d'Irak, telle que ça a pu être interprété. C'était simplement une crise financière liée à la flambée des taux d'intérêt et un taux d'endettement extrêmement élevé. Donc, il fallait absolument rassembler les sciences économiques et les disciplines de gestion. Ça a été un élément aussi fondateur. Une position, vous l'avouerez, et je crois que c'est pour ça que nous sommes ensemble et que vous décernez ce titre aujourd'hui, qui reste bien hérétique et sacrilège aujourd'hui. Et nous travaillons avec CERFI à abattre ces frontières entre les sciences économiques et les sciences de gestion. Alors, pour la petite histoire, l'histoire, c'est pas si mal terminé que ça, parce que Precepta a été repris par un fonds d'investissement. Personnellement, j'avais une âme de chef d'entreprise et d'entrepreneur. Je ne suis resté que 8 mois dans mon ancienne société, que je ne contrôlais plus, et j'ai immédiatement créé CERFI, et je termine ma petite histoire. Petite revanche, en 2005, CERFI a racheté Precepta, qui est aujourd'hui donc une filiale du groupe CERFI. Des effets waouh, des intuitions, des convictions, des échecs, des rebonds, des expériences, j'en ai eu beaucoup depuis 28 ans qu'existe CERFI, 36 ans si je compte l'expérience fondatrice de l'aventure au Precepta. Je ne vais pas vous ennuyer ici avec les détails de ma biographie d'entrepreneur, mais simplement vous faire un petit inventaire, inventaire à la Prévert, parfois incorrect, politiquement incorrect, de ce que j'ai cru comprendre pendant ces années. Point 1, l'échec est créatif. Si on fait l'effort d'analyser avec précision ses propres erreurs et de ne jamais chercher de bouc émissaire. La transdisciplinarité, deuxième point, la transdisciplinarité, c'est essentiel pour comprendre l'entreprise et son environnement. Troisième point, le monde est incroyablement complexe. On n'arrive pas à le faire entrer dans des équations, n'en déplaise à M. Tirole, prix Nobel d'économie. Il est complexe, je vais faire une citation un peu intellectuelle, pour quelqu'un qui a beaucoup compté intellectuellement pour moi, il est complexe au sens d'Edgar Morin, qui a été l'un de mes grands inspirateurs. Rien n'est déductif dans le domaine de l'économie et du management, rien n'est binaire. Les décisions se prennent souvent à 51-49, parfois à 50-50, voire parfois, et en tant que chef d'entreprise, je le sais, à 0 contre 100. Troisième point que je voudrais souligner, une erreur peut être source de succès. Il faut savoir exploiter ces erreurs. Quatrième point, et il découle de tous les précédents, il faut laisser toute sa place à l'intuition, au hasard des rencontres, à la sérendipité, au tâtonnement. Et je voudrais rendre hommage un petit peu à l'ouvrage du professeur Kahneman, Système 1, Système 2, qui a essayé de prendre en compte l'avancée des neurosciences, et il a eu un prix Nobel d'économie et non pas de gestion pour son œuvre, pour bien mettre en place le rôle, si vous voulez, de ce système de pensée rapide que j'appelle l'intuition, et qui est donc des mécanismes inconscients de l'intelligence. Et je voudrais prendre ici 2 exemples toujours aussi anecdotiques. C'est par hasard que dès 1997, CERFI s'est lancé sur Internet, moins de 4 ans après la création de CERFI. Et on était vraiment au tout début d'Internet. J'ai eu la chance, hasard, de rencontrer un start-upper. On commençait à dire start-upper, on ne disait plus tout à fait petit patron, qui venait de créer sa petite entreprise de site Internet. Et il avait besoin d'un site vitrine pour la commercialiser. Et il me propose, je ne connaissais rien du tout à Internet à l'époque, il me propose de dire, écoutez, je vous propose de faire un site gratuit parce que ça va me servir de site démonstration, je vous le fais gratuitement. Bon, bah pourquoi, faites-le, allez-y. Et à travers ce hasard, cette rencontre, cette sérendipité, on s'est retrouvés le premier institut d'études économiques en France à mettre nos études sur un site Internet en 1997. Deuxième élément important, dans le même temps, les grandes entreprises, les grandes banques, les systèmes financiers se mettaient à installer des tuyaux, on appelait ça à l'époque des tuyaux Internet, pour tester à titre expérimental. On s'est retrouvés les premiers à dire, mais écoutez, on a quelque chose à mettre dans vos tuyaux. Il n'y avait rien en français à mettre dans les tuyaux à l'époque, strictement rien. Pendant 3 ans, les 3 premières années de Xerfi, nous avons tiré le diable par la queue, et ensuite, nos ventes se sont envolées parce qu'on était les premiers. Et le plus étonnant, c'est ce qui a fait notre succès commercial, sur le plan commercial. Ce n'est pas la qualité des études dont nous étions totalement convaincus. C'est le fait d'avoir adopté par hasard, les premiers, la technologie Internet. Autre anecdote fondatrice, en 2008, et ça va me permettre de parler de Xerfi Canal, en 2008, c'est la chute de Lehman Brothers, que tout le monde a bien en tête, et c'est la crise financière mondiale. Nous décidons à Xerfi de faire une grande conférence au Salon Hoche à Paris, succès considérable, on était nous-mêmes étonnés de ce succès, devant un parterre de managers, de dirigeants d'entreprises, de banquiers. Nous avions 1200 inscrits et seulement 600 places. Et c'est là que mon DSI, mon directeur des systèmes informatiques, Laurent Lopez, à qui je rends hommage, a une idée totalement saugrenue. Il avait une petite caméra Sony grosse comme ça. Il me dit, je vais filmer la conférence. Bon, allez, vas-y, filme la conférence. De retour au bureau, on rediffuse pour nous la conférence sur le réseau interne, dans des vieux écrans à tubes à l'époque, hein, on avait encore des écrans à tubes. Alors l'image était extrêmement médiocre, ça défilait mal parce que les bandes passantes étaient étroites à l'époque. Mais alors là, je n'étais pas tout seul à faire « waouh ». On a entrevu, sans bien savoir quel serait le modèle économique, ce que pouvait devenir l'utilisation de la vidéo dans le domaine de l'économie et du management. Et l'origine fondatrice de Xerfi Canal, c'est cette conférence et cette idée de notre directeur informatique de mettre une petite caméra grosse comme ça pour filmer la séance. Alors aujourd'hui, Xerfi, c'est plus de 600 études publiées chaque année sur tous les secteurs d'activité. C'est une expérience cumulée sur 3 décennies à étudier l'économie réelle, vous l'avez souligné tout à l'heure. Je ne vais pas insister davantage sur cette approche qui est volontairement pluridisciplinaire et transdisciplinaire, sans frontières entre les différentes sciences, économie, gestion, sciences humaines. Nous ne nous mettons aucune limite, quitte à ne pas respecter les canons académiques. Quant à Xerfi Canal, que je dirige donc le groupe Xerfi, mais je dirige aussi personnellement Xerfi Canal, c'est un programme quotidien de vidéos sur l'économie réelle qui donne chaque jour de la semaine, la parole à nos propres économistes, mais aussi à des professeurs de sciences de gestion et des chercheurs académiques. En 10 ans, vous l'avez dit, professeur Chevalier, tout à l'heure, nous avons enregistré près de 10 000 vidéos. C'est un stock de connaissances absolument colossal qui est consultable. C'est de la mémoire, de la connaissance stockée. Ce sont des archives assez exceptionnelles. Je tiens d'ailleurs ici à remercier tous les professeurs et tous les chercheurs qui s'expriment chaque jour sur Xerfi Canal et qui viennent enregistrer dans ce studio. Je suis là dans le studio d'enregistrement. Et je remercie aussi non seulement les professeurs et chercheurs, mais je voudrais remercier tout particulièrement Jean-Philippe Denis, qui était jusqu'à il y a peu le rédacteur en chef de la revue française de gestion. Jean-Philippe pilote directement depuis 8 ans les émissions vidéo XOG, fenêtres ouvertes sur la gestion, qui sont dédiées justement à la recherche académique, et nous essayons d'établir ce pont entre la recherche académique et le monde du management, même si, c'est vrai, ces vidéos sont regardées également par des chercheurs et par des professeurs. Alors aujourd'hui, Xerfi Canal, c'est non seulement ces 10 000 vidéos, mais c'est aussi 85 000 abonnés sur notre propre plateforme de diffusion. C'est plus de 60 000 abonnés sur YouTube, plus de 50 000 abonnés sur LinkedIn, sans compter Twitter et les autres réseaux sociaux. Donc, c'est une masse d'impact Le professeur Kalika a cité le mot impact tout à l'heure. Oui, effectivement, c'est un impact absolument considérable par rapport à une audience extrêmement ciblée. Nous ne cherchons pas à faire 1 million de vues. Il nous est arrivé récemment de faire 1 million de vues. Mais notre première réaction, c'est de dire, attendez, notre impact, nous ne cherchons pas à toucher 1 million de personnes. Nous cherchons à toucher un public extrêmement ciblé de gens qui s'intéressent aux disciplines du management et à l'économie. Donc, notre public est loin d'être purement académique. En fait, la majorité de l'audience est constituée, j'insiste dessus, de dirigeants et de managers d'entreprise, de financiers, de consultants, de fonctionnaires et aussi d'hommes politiques et de leurs conseillers, ce qui parfois nous pose des petits problèmes parce qu'on n'a pas toujours envie de travailler pour un tel ou un tel. En tout cas, nous faisons très attention d'être, je ne vais pas dire apolitique, parce qu'on est bien obligé de prendre des positions, mais de ne pas être partisan. Tout est cause, pas, jamais partisan. Et chaque jour, nous combinons un programme d'émission en donnant la parole à nos propres économistes, des économistes qui travaillent dans une entreprise privée, qui connaissent donc vraiment ce que c'est qu'une entreprise, et à des professeurs et chercheurs dans les diverses disciplines de la stratégie du management. Nous sommes d'ailleurs repris dans leurs cours par de nombreux professeurs dans les meilleures universités et les meilleures écoles qui utilisent nos vidéos dans leurs cours et aucun problème qu'ils reprennent ces émissions pour illustrer leurs cours puisque Cerficanal, c'est gratuit pour les utilisateurs et je dirais même c'est open access. Cerficanal, c'est totalement gratuit. Voilà, Cerfi a construit donc un business model totalement indépendant dans les études qui s'est révélé rentable et d'ailleurs à ce point rentable qu'un nouveau fonds d'investissement est venu renforcer nos moyens financiers en juillet dernier. Vous voyez que c'est tout récent. Mais surtout, nous avons le sentiment, nous avons la fierté, j'allais dire, d'avoir une véritable raison d'être. On parle beaucoup de raison d'être. Alors, les entreprises s'inventent des raisons d'être. La nôtre, elle est évidente. Non seulement nous voulons éclairer via nos publications les décisions des décideurs d'entreprise, mais aussi grâce à nos études et nos vidéos, de jouer un véritable rôle, le mot que j'emploierais personnellement, c'est de passeur, de véritable passeur entre le monde académique et le monde de l'entreprise, pour stimuler cette réflexion sur l'économie, la stratégie et le management dans le monde réel. Alors, je vais terminer ces remerciements et ces anecdotes par un petit dessert. Et le professeur Chevalier a bien voulu me faire un clin d'œil tout à l'heure, et je le remercie parce que c'est très important pour moi. Un petit dessert loin des disciplines de gestion, mais en même temps quelque part si proche. Je dois vous faire… Alors, j'avais écrit sur mon papier que j'allais vous faire une confidence, mais professeur Chevalier, vous avez dévoilé la confidence, donc ce n'est plus un secret. Ma vraie passion, c'est ni l'entreprise, ni l'économie, ni la gestion. Ma vraie passion, c'est la musique. Toutes les musiques, là aussi, je suis pluridisciplinaire. J'aime la musique classique, j'aime le rock, j'aime la world music. Bon, j'aime pas trop le rap. Désolé, je sais que parmi les vidéos spectateurs, là, il y a des gens qui aiment le rap. Moi, c'est pas trop mon truc. Je suis moi-même pianiste de jazz amateur. Et j'aurais voulu non pas être un artiste, mais j'aurais voulu être un musicien professionnel. C'est une ambition déçue de n'avoir été que chef d'entreprise. Mais à tout prendre, j'ai décidé un jour, avec beaucoup de lucidité, qu'il valait mieux être un petit patron qu'un moyen musicien. Donc, j'ai choisi d'être entrepreneur. Mais le plus important n'est pas là. Pour avoir étudié et médité le jazz, et Dieu sait que c'est beaucoup de travail, j'ai toute ma vie été fasciné par le travail d'improvisation. Alors, quel rapport avec le management? Et en fait, il est énorme, il est colossal le rapport entre le jazz et le management. Apprendre à improviser, cela exige un colossal effort d'apprentissage pour explorer les structures harmoniques et rythmiques et connaître absolument par cœur toutes les combinaisons mathématiques, parce que quelque part, la musique et le rythme, ce sont des mathématiques, connaître par cœur toutes les structures harmoniques et rythmiques et à conjuguer l'expression et les émotions d'un groupe de musiciens. Quand vous improvisez, moi, en l'occurrence, il s'agit de piano, eh bien, À la vitesse de l'éclair, votre cerveau n'a même pas le temps de travailler, vos doigts doivent jouer quelque chose. Et vos doigts doivent décoder une partition qui n'est pas totalement écrite, doit comprendre ce qui se passe, doit comprendre les émotions des autres musiciens et, à la vitesse de l'éclair, trouver les bonnes notes et trouver le bon rythme. Donc, improviser en jazz, c'est travailler sans filet et se confronter à la fausse note et aux exigences du rythme, tout en conservant l'esprit collectif, parce qu'on ne joue pas tout seul, c'est comme dans une entreprise, on est un groupe, on est un ensemble. Improviser, c'est maîtriser aussi parfaitement que possible son corpus et c'est aussi savoir réagir au moindre incident, immédiatement, dans l'immédiateté, savoir faire de l'erreur une création. Si j'avais le temps, mais je suis déjà très long, j'aimerais expliquer comment Miles Davis faisait pour créer en laissant jouer les gens au hasard, en disant tout d'un coup, oh là là, ça c'est très bon, on va en faire un morceau. C'est découvrir de nouvelles pistes, de nouvelles voies, mobiliser sans arrêt ses émotions, parce que le moteur c'est l'émotion pour explorer de nouvelles décisions. Je me dis parfois, et je vais conclure là-dessus, que l'enseignement en management devrait inclure des cours de jazz. Ce serait bien des cours de jazz au Business Science Institute, à l'INSEAD, à HEC, des cours de jazz pour stimuler la créativité et l'innovation. Peut-être que lorsque j'aurai quitté mes fonctions à la tête de Xerfi, je me lancerai dans un vrai doctorat, peut-être un DBA d'ailleurs, un DBA sur l'apport de l'improvisation, excusez-moi, je vais articuler, un DBA sur l'apport de l'improvisation jazz au management des entreprises. Merci de votre attention.
Merci beaucoup, Laurent Fébis, pour cette histoire personnelle de votre parcours qui confirme tout à fait la pertinence de l'Academic Committee du Business Science Institute. Et quant à votre projet de vous inscrire dans un DBA, sachez que vous serez le bienvenu et ensemble, bien évidemment, nous pourrons continuer à créer de la connaissance. Merci à vous, félicitations. Félicitations, nous sommes très fiers de vous compter parmi nos docteurs honoris causa. À bientôt, Monsieur Laurent Fébis. We go on the graduation ceremony now. You have here the photo of the Vils ceremony in the room, and maybe we can hope that next year we will be there. And now we will have an important step in our graduation ceremony. It's about the Certificate of Research in Business Administration, delivered in partnership between the University of Technology of Sydney Business School and Business Science Institute. And I would like for that, and we are very happy to welcome Professor Prabhu Sivabalan. He is Associate Dean concerned by external engagement, and he's head of the Performance Analysis for Transformation in Healthcare Group. And on behalf of UTS, I am very happy to give him the floor. Please, Professor Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Professor Kalika, and thank you very much, everyone, for having me in this wonderful occasion. My name is Prabhu Sivabalan. I'm a professor of management accounting in the UTS Business School, and I'm also the Associate Dean of External Engagement in the UTS Business School. And my broad responsibility, which I have great joy in administering, is to facilitate the authentic interaction of the UTS Business School with corporations and society, as well as other institutions, educational and otherwise, to advance knowledge to affect a fairer and more prosperous world. And I really do get much joy from that. It's a real pleasure to be here today. And I must say, for some time now, the UTS Business School has had a really wonderful relationship with BSI, and we very much, it gives us great joy to be here today to present these certificates to our very, very deserving recipients. Professor Kalika, shall I begin by going through our names of our very deserving recipients? I'll begin with the CRBA, the Certificate for Research in Business Administration recipients from the Digital DBA program. And the first is Saeed Ashar Ahmed. The second is Darren Hassan. The third, Jason Leong. The fourth, Roberto Sabatini. The fifth, Vivek Sharma. The sixth, Kiran Vukadala. Then Christine Yates, who I noticed had her background as being our wonderful UTS Business School building, which I regret to say, try as I might, I could not emulate in my own Zoom background because I keep looking like a chameleon. It shadows me, and I cannot fix it, no matter how much IT helps me in UTS. So Christine, thank you for putting that background of our wonderful business school building. And congratulations again. Our next is a deserving recipient is Mohammed Azam Zia and Sohail Ziauddin. And these were the very deserving recipients of the CRBA certificates from the Digital DBA program. From the DBA a distance program, we have Abdurrahim Musawi, Albin Mwansa Museka, and Ladu Shusu Ngongang. And finally, from Paris, we have Mohammed Francis Keita, and of course, Mamadou Traore. Can I again sincerely congratulate you all for this wonderful achievement. Can I also add that, you know, it's not easy to earn these qualifications at the best of times when you are learning in class in a normal orthodox learning environment. To be able to do so in a time of a global pandemic where learning and teaching is not conducted in an orthodox manner is no easy feat. And I have nothing but respect and admiration for all of you for achieving this. I must say, I don't know if I myself could have done it as a student. And I really, again, say I have nothing but admiration for all of you. Very well done. You've done us proud, and we really look forward to seeing you all shine out there in society as wonderful ambassadors of this program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, dear colleague from the University of Technology of Sydney Business School. I must say that we really appreciate your presence during this ceremony because you join us very late from Australia. It's the night now for you, and we do appreciate your presence. That's for us a signal, that's for us a message for the future. And really, I must say that we are very happy to work with you. Thank you very much, Professor Prabhu Sivabalan.
Thank you so much, Professor Kalika.
See you soon.
Speak soon.
And now we will have some music. Thank you, Professor Eko and Justin from Business Science Institute, and thank you to Valentina and Justin. Thank you, Valentina and Justin, and Professor Eiko and Justin, for this exceptional break. We have been talking about music with Laurent Fébis, and now we hear some music. Before going ahead in our ceremony, and please, Frédéric, can you move to the next slide? Thank you. Thank you, Frédéric. Thank you also to Ramunas who made the video of this short music contribution. As you know, the DBA degree is the result of a joint venture between the University of Lyon and Business Science Institute since a long time. And I would like to give the floor now to Professor Marie-Christine Chalus-Sauvanet. I would like her to take the floor now, please.
Thank you, Professor Kalika. Hello, everybody. What a week. All these thesis defenses, certificates, committee, conferences, books, and networking. So congratulations first to Michel Kalika and his team who have been mobilized day and night for sure for a week to offer us this beautiful event. The board of IAE Lyon, that I represent today as the head of the DBA degrees, is warmly congratulate you, all of you. You have all the DBA students, you have all an important professional experience, and you have now demonstrated your ability to enhance it and to show your scientific capabilities. So, I is really proud to participate in this event and to follow you. And we have not the agility of the Business Science Institute because we have 30,000 students and just 8,000 students. So we are really happy about this partnership. It's a strong and long-term partnership. So congratulations to all of you. It's a long and difficult way to do a DBA, and you did it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Chalus-Sauvanet. This partnership between the University of Lyon, the IAE Lyon of the University Lyon 3 and Business Science Institute is a long-term partnership, and it works very well with numerous professors from IAE Lyon involved in all the activities of Business Science Institute. And this partnership is important because our students, they will receive after their defenses, and 28 of them presented their thesis this week, they will receive 2 degrees at the same time. They will receive the degree of Business Science Institute and Executive DBA, and they will receive at the same time, they will receive the DBA, the Doctorate in Business Administration of the University of Lyon. And we can say that all the faculty and all the students really appreciate this partnership. Now we will please go to the first list of the students. Please, Frédéric. Yes, and here are the name. Professor Chalus-Sauvanet, do you want to mention the name of the students of the different group, the first series of name, please?
Okay, so we have first DBA à distance. So congratulations to Cyril Vidal, Amdu Dorsouma, Alexander Elita, Eustache Akpam. Sorry if I don't really pronounce your name correctly by advance. For Genova, we have Philippe Hanhorn, Claude Gentil. Sorry about my screen. For Luxembourg, in Dutch, we have Marcel André Friedrich, Frank Jacob, Julia Plunch, Elmar Plunch, Michel Zinkan, sorry.
Thank you, Professor Chalus-Sauvanet. And now it's time to award Cyril Vidal, the thesis supervisor, were Professor Jean-Philippe Denis and Professor Damien Mouret. Professor Jean-Philippe Denis, if you are here and available, can you say some words, please?
I am here and available. Thank you, Professor Kalika. It was a great pleasure to supervise Cyril Vidal's thesis. Cyril has a very ambitious subject, and he opens new doors. And the door that he opened is the door between law and management. And I think that it's very promising for the future. It's a first step with his DBA, executive DBA, but it's a very promising one. And we wish you with Damien Mouret. It was a great pleasure to supervise the thesis with Damien Mouret. We both think that it's a door that we'll have a great, sorry for my English being so bad as usual. Congrats. I just want to say congrats to Cyril Vidal.
Thank you very much. The title of the thesis in French is L'incertitude managériale du notaire. Positionnement ou repositionnement stratégique pour adapter pour l'avenir. Professeur Mouret,
yes,
je vous passe la parole.
Thank you. So first of all, I would like to say that I'm very delighted and proud to witness today the great achievement obtained by Cyril Vidal. So Cyril, you are now a doctor in business administration and you deserve it totally. I have had the pleasure to supervise your work along with Jean-Philippe Denis, and it's been quite an interesting journey. I think it was very, for me and also for Jean-Philippe, very enriching to maintain a creative dialogue with you, because you always have had very groundbreaking ideas popping into your head. And our role with Jean-Philippe was to channel through your creative thinking into the making of a piece of research that would be well received within the community of organizational scholars. And I think we all managed to do that. So your work concerned the future of a regulated profession, the notaries. You managed to elaborate a theoretical framework of your own thinking, and that navigates across 3 different perspectives: organization studies, the law, but also a social historical approach. And you demonstrate the existential threat facing this profession. And I think also that your work makes a very great managerial contribution, and you offer critical insights as to how this profession could reflect on its own future. And I would like also to stress that you are very good at doing research. You have also proved in this work that you have developed your own thinking backed by a systematic and rigorous approach. And I would like to invite you to go on with doing research work. And also, personally, I wish you well. And I treasure the experience of working along this path with you and with Jean-Philippe. And yes, so congratulations for your achievement.
Congratulations, indeed. It was a very nice journey, and we can congratulate you for the impact that for your thesis, for your degree, and also for the impact that you are going to create. Okay, and now I would like to award the degree to Dr. Amdu Dorsouma. The supervisor is Professor Bouchard, connected also from Montreal. And the subject of the thesis is, in French, Conflits armés et développement durable en Afrique, rôle de l'intelligence environnementale. Professeur Bouchard, vous nous faites l'honneur et l'amitié d'être connecté depuis Montréal. Voulez-vous prendre la parole?
Merci. Alors, écoutez, je vais le faire en anglais comme vous me l'avez demandé. I have known Mr. Dorsuma since many years ago when I met him in a classroom in Egypt. He was standing out among his colleagues as a cool and calm fellow. And I remember his classmates were looking at him with respect because he had some authoritative thinking on political history of Africa. At that time, I had the opportunity to direct his master memoir at that time, and which we oriented toward already over armed conflicts and environmental assessment, which was a yet unexplored field and a difficult field. And he came out of that with very bright ideas and very satisfactory results. I lost track of Mr. Dorsuma afterward, but I know he went on for a very successful career, international career as an environmental expert and later on as a manager. Manager of a very critical subject for the African Development Bank, notably as climate change studies at the bank. I was happy when he contacted me to ask and tell me he had the intention to go into a DBA and carry on the subject of armed conflict, which he did very successfully. And I was very proud of his work and of his thesis. I am honored now to call him my dear colleague, Dr. Dorsuma. And I really look forward in a few years to call him my good friend, colleague, Dr. Dorsuma. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Bouchard, for this testimony. Please, can I remind to everybody to close the microphone, please. I ask to the public to close the microphone. Okay, we go on now with the degree concerning Alexander Elati, Dr. Alexander Elati. The thesis has been supervised by Professor Olivier Lavastre. The subject, the title of the thesis was in French, Amélioration du processus de réponse aux appels d'offres par l'application de méthodes de gestion de projet. And I will ask to the supervisor, Professor Olivier Lavastre, to take the floor, please.
Yes, sure. Thank you, Professor Kalika. For my French colleague, appel d'offres, it's translated by calls for tender. So it was a really pleasure to be the DBA supervisor of Dr. Alexander Elati, because Dr. Elati was a doctoral manager, very serious and rigorous, and he has all the quality to be a doctor in business administration. He finished his studies in 3 years. His research question was, is it possible to improve the response process to calls for tender by applying project management method? So Dr. Elati works on 2 theoretical elements. First, the calls for tender, and more specifically, the response process to calls for tender. And second, the project management methods, and more specifically, the waterfall method, the Kanban method, and the lean management. In his methodology, Dr. Elati deploys 2 tools. First, a real simulation study using the 3 project management methods on 20 calls for tender from his own company to observe which one of this method is most efficient. And the second methodological tools, it is the Delphi survey to understand the perception of about 50 project managers according to the best project management method. The results are numerous, but I will quote some of them. First, lean management improves the quality of the response process, while Kanban improves the time of the process by reducing the time. Waterfall method could be forgotten. The method should be not used. Dr. Elati formulates some of managerial recommendation. One of the most important managerial recommendation is the creation of an hybrid method in 5 steps to manage the process. This new hybrid method in 5 steps combining the best of Kanban method and the best of lean management method to the response process to call for tender. Proposing the use of this new hybrid method and other managerial recommendation for project management, he has responded to his initial problem and is finished his DBA thesis to help firms in their response process to call for tender. And to finish, I repeat, it was a pleasure to be the DBA supervisor of Dr. Alexander Elati, and I congratulated him. Congratulations, Alexander.
Congratulations, Dr. Elati. We will now move to Eustache Akpan, and is a student in the DBA at distance. And unfortunately, Professor Husson is not with us today. And the professor in charge of this group, Professor Mouret, will give the testimony of Professor Julien Husson.
Thank you, Mr. President. So, Mr. Akpan, I'm very sorry because Professor Husson couldn't be with us today, but he left a message, and I'm going just to read it to celebrate your achievement. So, Mr. Akpan conducted his research on a paradoxical issue affecting the development projects in Africa. And the question is, why are public funds dedicated to development projects not used? So Mr. Akpan worked on several conceptual notions to conduct his research, the stakeholder theory, the concept of performance, and project management. His research is based on an extensive empirical work carried out on concrete projects that he himself conducted as a consultant. The results of his work in terms of managerial impact are clearly highlighted in a collection of 10 commandments. This is an important original presentation for a DBA thesis. We really enjoyed working with Mr. Akpan, and we would like to underline his responsiveness and motivation throughout the work. So this is the end of the message of Professor Husson. Personally, I would like to congratulate you warmly for your achievement. I'm very delighted that you can now be called a Doctor of Business Administration.
Congratulations, Dr. Akpan. Now we move to German-speaking students and to Dr. Marcel-André Friedrich. And I will ask to my colleague and friend, Dr. Reuter, to mention the subject of research and to give us a testimony. Please, Professor Reuter.
Thank you very much, Michel. I will try to give some information about the work of Marcel-André Friedrich. He took an aspect which was, until this point, not so much viewed in Germany. For me, it was a lot of pleasure to work with him right from the beginning, because building on a broad market experience and well-founded specialist and branch competence, Marcel tackled a topic that so far it has not really have real attention in the German-speaking market. It's about establishing strategy of most providers in investment goods, services, and products that need to be explained to the user and to the customer. For the moment, the existing strategy and sales strategies are primarily focused and optimized in such a way that they protect direct sales channels and also direct sales channels representatives. Marcel has now shown in his DBA thesis that it is very possible to use a multi-channel strategy without cannibalizing the direct channel strategies and also results. In my opinion, there is a very strong and positive evidence that Marcel's statements, recommendations, as well as the management impact of his thesis are fully effective. Which doctoral student can successfully complete this DBA thesis and get not just one, but several consulting assignments on exactly this subject? In other words, not only the vote of the jury, but above all, the market fully confirmed the highly quality of Marcel André Friedrich's work. So, dear Marcel, once again, herzlichen Glückwunsch, and you have to know that the work will begin right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Reuter. Congratulations, Dr. Friedrich. Now we stay in the German group. Please, Professor Thomas Gergen, can you talk about the thesis of Frank Jacob, please?
Yes, Michel, it's a pleasure to talk about the thesis of Frank Jacob. Frank Jacob, already professor of global history in Bodø, Norway since several years, member in numerous committees of research. So he's a professor through and through, and his work dedicates to a radical fundament, and it's a radical thesis. So it brings a lot of raw data from historical sources from the early modern times, so from the 15th and 16th century. So sources from the global mission in Peru and Japan. And his thesis contributes to new research that I have learned from the other members of the jury in management. So the knowledge, the translation of knowledge from the Bible, from the Gospel, from the sacraments, etc., from all that they contributes to the new conquered mission territories, and above all the language skills, and they organized the new market in the global mission. So that is the contribution from the management, and at the same time, the thesis of Frank Jacob is seismic for historian, because all the knowledge of management he can let flow in the sciences of history. And as a researcher, as a professor, there's no doubt that Frank Jacob is going to continue his research, and above all to construct his knowledge he acquired from management, the science of history. And the last point is he is a doctor manager now, so we need doctor managers in our faculties, in our universities, to widen the knowledge in management for the daily week in the universities. Congratulations to Frank Jacob, to Professor Dr. Frank Jacob in Bodø, Norway. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Gergen, and congratulations to Frank Jacob for the result of your research. Of course, you will be able to create a lot of impact with this thesis. Please, we go now to Dr. Julia Plunge, and Professor Justin, you offer us some music, and moreover, you supervise a sound thesis, please.
Yes, thank you very much. It was a great pleasure to make some music for this conference, but it was also a very good pleasure to be the supervisor of Julia Plünsch. And the questions you, dear Dr. Plünsch, address in your work, the questions about the factors, how to become an employer of choice for qualified leaders, for qualified managers in a rural environment, these questions are really, in fact, central to the transformation of the world of work in countries like Germany, but in many countries of Europe too. The field of scientific tension between urbanization, between personal recruitment and retention at companies in rural areas, between the professional career and the private world of living, between entrepreneurial and individual perspectives, has been your interdisciplinary field of research for 3 years. And you have not only mastered this in a wonderful academic way, we have also developed important approaches that provide highly relevant advices for companies, for managers, for people with a professional human resource background, for example. Advices how the challenge facing companies in rural environments, in rural areas, can be overcome. The courage to conduct an interdisciplinary research, but also your passion for this work has certainly contributed significantly to the outstanding result. I want to congratulate you most warmly on this. It has been a pleasure to be your supervisor for 3 years, and for the future I wish you all the best for your professional and for your private life, but also that your work will bear fruit not only in your own company, but also in many others too. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Justin, and congratulations, Dr. Julia Plünsch. We will stay in the same family, and I will ask to Professor Bartel to introduce the thesis of Elmar Plünsch.
Thank you, Michel. Well, it was a great pleasure for me, like for all of us professors, as if I listen to you well, to supervise the thesis of Elmar Plünsch. And as a board member of Rügenwalder Spezialitäten, a family firm producing sausages, and he had the intent when studying the DBA not only to become a doctor, but also to contribute to the long-term performance of their company. And therefore, he focused on business model innovation and how business model innovation can be implemented in the consumer goods industry, the specific industry. And in addition to the case of their own company, Elmar Plünsch has interviewed entrepreneurs and top managers from 12 other companies, and several of them very renowned big companies in the consumer goods industry. And within these 13 companies overall, he had identified 18 cases of business model innovation, and they are described in detail in the thesis. And all the jury members highlighted how interesting and how relevant these case studies are, and several required whether they could, well, get more information and use them for their courses. There's already some impact visible here. But the thesis also made several theoretical contributions, one of them being the description of 4 new business models that have not been identified as such in the literature before. So congratulations, and I really hope you will continue also working on these topics, not only for your company, which I wish, of course, a lot of success, but also in order to publish your interesting work in various formats.
Thank you very much, Professor Anne Bartel. Professor Anne Bartel is in charge of the German group, and this group knows now a very quick development. Congratulations, and congratulations to Elmar Plünsch for his success. So now we will move from Germany to Switzerland, if I am right. I try a transition. But I'm not sure
no,
that
in
it
fact,
works.
we just stay in Germany. The tradition is that I had the great pleasure to supervise two great German DBA students who now have become doctors. So it was also a great pleasure to supervise the work of Michel Zinkan. Michel has a professional background in the consulting sector. So he knew well when he started his DBA that consulting firms sometimes invest a lot of resources, a lot of time and money to elaborate offers without knowing whether the client company will buy it. And sometimes they're not bought and they're lost. And that's why he asked the question, what external, internal factors influence the success rate of marketing knowledge-intensive business services, highly technical consulting offers, business services in the B2B sector. And in his empirical study, Michel uses an exceptional, original and company internal data set of almost 1,000 offers of technical KIPS, knowledge-intensive business services. And the data have been analyzed with quantitative methods and quite sophisticated methods, which is one of the strengths of the thesis. And he has identified significant differences between the offers that have been successfully marketed and those bit that were lost. And for one of the steps of data analysis is a logistic regression model that was developed, and that's able to predict the probability of winning the bid at 67%. More in detail, he has shown that customer relationships, and the customer relationship is the most important factor for successfully selling KIPS. And the members of the jury unanimously highlighted the exceptional sample and the sophisticated methods which was he analyzed this data. So the results are useful for managers in KIPS companies in their decisions for or against a request and managing the bid preparation and interaction with their customers. Congratulations, Michel.
Thank you very much, Professor Bartel. I was in advance on my second computer. It's only now that
it's over to Switzerland. Okay.
we leave now Germany and we go to Switzerland, and Dr. Philippe en Horn has been supervised by Professor Véronique Zardet. And the professor in charge of this group, Professor Caroline Mott, will make the comments. Please, Caroline.
Yes, thank you very much, Philippe. I'm very pleased to read the comments from your thesis director, Philippe. So Véronique Zardet writes, Philippe en Horn has prepared his DBA thesis on an extremely important issue in the field of healthcare, focusing on the development of the active role of patients in their healthcare pathway and their overall care under the name of patient partner. I am very proud to have been given the opportunity to supervise this work, which was carried out with rigor and diligence, despite a pandemic context which hampered the progress of his research activities. Philippe is the director of a major healthcare network in Switzerland, whose activity has been impacted, of course, by the COVID-19 epidemic. He successfully combined a survey of 500 healthcare professionals and around 100 patients carried out twice to measure the evolution of practices over a period of 1 year. At the same time, he took advantage with colleagues in his organization of a project launched in his network to make it his field not only of observation, but also of the introduction of new practices in the relations between healthcare professionals and patients. The result is a thesis of excellent quality from which we learn a lot, rigorous and rich in the quantity and quality of the results, as his examination panel insisted upon yesterday. And I add congratulations.
Thank you very much, Professor Mott, and congratulations to Philippe on Horn. And we stay in Switzerland now, I think, and we stay with Professor Caroline Mott.
Yes, just the time that I take a picture of the screen. Okay. How do entrepreneurs overcome failures and build their resilience? This is a very important subject that has been tackled by Claude Gentile, which was uncovered by the literature until now, as the access to the field is indeed very complicated. The thesis he defends is the following. The process of resilience of an entrepreneur consists in different steps, each one being influenced by a series of factors linked to the personal capacity of resilience of the entrepreneur. And as Dr. Honoris Causa, Dr. Fabi said a few minutes ago, failure is creative if. In his thesis, Claude shows that failure can be creative if it is overcome by the entrepreneur's resilience, and he provides very important clues for that. And this resilience helps to improve his or her mental strength and human capital, to preserve his or her relatives, and also to prepare for the next entrepreneurial challenge. And above all, and that is very specific to entrepreneurs, it identifies key aspects in the resilience factors, what he calls the resolution factors, linked to the freedom of action and to managerial action. He takes the resilient aspect apart from the psychological part on which most authors have focused, and towards a very practical and concrete aspect, which is action. Hence, both theoretical and managerial implications from this thesis are very important in terms of overcoming failures for an entrepreneur. Failures which are very frequent, and not only in Switzerland, where Claude Gentile has done his investigation based on interviews. It has been a great honor for me to conduct this thesis, as Claude is not only gentile, which means nice and kind in Italian, which he certainly is, but brilliant. It has been a great pleasure because he's the perfect doctoral student. Not only does he immediately integrate all the remarks, but he's subtle, deep, curious, analytical, and so on. He has developed what is for me the main characteristic for a great researcher. I mean, a completely autonomous and rigorous thought, defending his ideas with great humility. I really loved our exchanges and debates, his original ideas, his convictions, his incredible capacity for work, realizing this thesis with a perfect methodology a la Gioia, alongside with very important professional commitments and responsibilities as managing director, among others. The result is an excellent thesis from which Claude derives important contributions thanks to a very rigorous methodology and result analysis, which led his examination panel to congratulate him unanimously, hoping that he will go on with publication. Congratulations again.
Thank you very much, Professor Caroline Mott, and congratulations to Claude Gentile for the journey and the result of your work. Congratulations. And now we will listen again to Valentina and Professor Eco and Justin. Merci pour cette pause. Thank you for this music break. We are now going ahead with degree from IAE Lyon and Business Science Institute for the students of the group of Paris, Bamako, Digital Dba, and Dakar. So please, the first students will be Dr. Mamadou Traoré and Professor Burlot. I thank you for being here again. You presented this morning the session on the new books, and now you are going to give us your testimony, please.
Thank you very much. Sorry, do you hear me? Yes, is it all right?
Yes, perfect.
So thank you very much, Professor Kalika. It was a real pleasure for me to supervise the research of Dr. Mamadou Traoré. The title of his doctoral dissertation is The Role of Internal Audit in International Organizations Governance. The case of ACP Group, A for African, C Caribbean, and P Pacific. ACP Group is an intergovernmental organization based in Brussels. Its mission is to promote political, economic, and social development thanks to a good governance in order to eradicate poverty, encourage sustainable development, and integrate equitably the ACP countries into the global economy. So it's a real challenge. The main difficulty is to measure the achievement of these goals and how to implement an effective governance in a political environment. This research is at the crossroad of different disciplines: auditing, performance measurement, governance, ethics, political science. The findings of this research are very important because they apply to many intergovernmental organizations and NGOs. It's an important research field. Dr. Traoré has an impressive experience in this area and presented an excellent doctoral dissertation. I would like to extend my gratitude to the members of Dr. Traoré's jury, Professor Karim Ben-Kala, Professor Geneviève Causse, and Professor Jean Desmaz. And of course, my very warm congratulations to Dr. Traoré. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Burlot. Congratulations, Dr. Traoré. And please, now we move to Luxembourg. Dr. Jean-Elia is coming from Lebanon, and we met a long time ago in Lebanon, but now he's working in Luxembourg, and I will ask to Professor Maurice Thévenet to make its comments, please.
Thank you, Michel. Thank you, first of all, for giving me the opportunity, to supervise Jean's thesis, because it has been a great time and a great pleasure. So that is an amazing thesis, that Jean completed, I would say for a unique reason. And the unique reason is that when we started, it was totally confused and complex. And at the end of the day, it's easy, to put the idea of the thesis, in very, very simple words. And for me, that is the very, very criterion of what a good thesis is. What is it, the thesis about? It's very, very clear. It's about digital transformation. And of course, then digital transformation is a question of process, transformation process within the organization. It is about technical proficiency. It is about alignment with the strategy of the company. But what Jean is interested in is that it is mostly related to the leader's mindset, how the leaders represent in their mind, in their actions, what transformation is. And if you want, to learn everything about this leader's mindset as far as digital transformation is concerned, please rush to Jean's thesis. And I have to tell you that if you are not too impatient, well, there will be multiple articles, and publications about what he did. But what I would like to emphasize, about Jean, it is the fact that he is meeting the 5 conditions for an outstanding and successful DBA student, that is DBA graduate. And please, if you want to take note, I will tell you the 5 criteria. Please, Michel, take note.
Yes, I do, of course.
Good. So the first thing is seriousness, to be hardworking. It is the most simple one. I mean, this is the one that is very simple to understand. The second one is perseverant, because our friend Jean, he took 5 years, to complete the thesis. And when I say so, I'm not criticizing at all. I'm not kidding him, I'm just saying that it has been a very, very matured work that he completed, but you need the perseverance, to accomplish that. Then you need distance. And Jean has distance. He is able to distance himself from his professional experience. It is so difficult to do so. He knows exactly not how to hide his own beliefs and convictions about the topic of his thesis, but he's able to confront them, to step back and confront that, thanks to the methodology and the theoretical work that is appropriate in a DBA. The fourth one is projection. You have to project yourself in the future. And, it's very, very clear that, Jean is in his mid-career, and I'm totally convinced, that he will do a lot from what he did in his DBA. It will have, just as we say in the BSI language, it will have an impact. And the last one, maybe the most important one, is that you need to have some fit, with your director. I had the fit with Jean. I hope it is the same for him. It was a great pleasure, these very, very numerous discussions we had about this thesis. And I really, Jean, wish you all the best. I know that it has been a very, very demanding job, for yourself and for your family. So I wish you all the best and to enjoy your graduation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Maurice Thévenet. I keep in mind that you just proposed a new book in the Business Science Institute book collection about the 5 key success factors for the thesis. Thank you. Just tell me when you think you will publish it, in November, in December, or in January 2022. Thank you, Maurice, for your implication. And thank you, Dr. Jean Elias. I'm very proud of you. And now we are going to Dr. Paul Omanji Lokonde. The supervisor was Professor Christoph Schmidt from the University of Lorraine. And unfortunately, Professor Schmidt is vice president of its university and is not available now. And he asked me to tell some word. And he said, I quote, "With this word, I would like to congratulate Dr. Omanji for the completion of his DBA. Dr. Omanji impressed me with his capacity to seriously work and with its continuous commitment despite several professional obligations and other concerns. He was able to tackle a research problem that was close to his heart around the development of entrepreneurial culture in his country. His dissertation's results are all concentrated on perspective of action that will be interesting to implement. Congratulations again to you, Dr. Omanji, and good luck for the future and for all what you will undertake." And I must say that the title of the thesis was Représentation entrepreneuriale des jeunes diplômés des universités congolaises, compréhension par les récits de vie. Congratulations, Paul. And then we will welcome Professor Liarte for the supervision of Dr. Etman Umar. Please, Professor Liarte.
Yes, thank you, Michel. Of course, as all the supervisor, it's a pleasure for me to present the work of Mr. Umar. The thesis of Mr. Umar is based on a very simple empirical observation, and I personally appreciate simple starting points. The starting point is private entrepreneurs and public administration waste a lot of time and energy during the implementation of public-private partnership. Indeed, each part of the project spend a huge part of their time to blame themselves for ineffective industrial policies in the business community. So in his work, Mr. Umar developed the idea that the problem does not necessarily come from lack of dialogues or lack of will. First, each side needs to understand how the other social world works. More precisely, he details our project. It's also the confrontation between more than individuals, ideas, means, or aims. An industrial project is also the place to observe the existence of sometimes antagonistic institutional logics, the public administration logic versus the entrepreneurship logic. So to summarize, a lot of project failures in this context are not due to an absence of common work or the absence of a common goal, but it's just due to a misunderstanding about who is and how works the partner. Once this situation described through the study of multiple projects in an African context, more precisely in Mauritania, the Mr. Umar works presents multiple managerial recommendations in order to bridge these two social worlds closer. And the idea is to be able to create the best condition to ensure a rich dialogue and a useful exchange between very different parts in a common project. It's fundamental to have the keys to understand the main characteristics and features of the dominant logic of the economic partner. So the work, for me, the work of Mr. Umar is a great mix between a strong theoretical approach based on the neo-institutional view and a rich empirical dimension based on the study of multiple cases. And as Mr. Umar, his work is absolutely sharp, rigorous, clear, and deep. And it was a real pleasure for me to work with Etman Umar. And it's also very simple to work together because as all of you in BSI, dear doctors and dear students, Mr. Umar is able to combine truly two different institutional logics, the academic one and the managerial one. So thank you again for this collaboration, this partnership, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Liarte, and congratulations, Dr. Umar. Then I give the floor to Professor Aurélie Dudésert for the Dr. Robert Sojic.
Thank you, Michel. I'm very happy to be here and to present the work of Dr. Robert Sojic.
We don't hear you very well, excuse me.
Oh, sorry. Okay, it's better perhaps like that. Okay, the title of this thesis is Le dirigeant de petite entreprise face à la transformation digitale, le cas du courtier d'assurance. And in fact, it was a very ambitious subject when Robert decided to work on. He decided to study all CEO of very small enterprise decide to adapt concerning digital transformation. And indeed, it was a huge work because this work aim to establish the psychological and emotional posture of this CEO and the way they are able to copy to digital transformation. So he conducts a precise qualitative methodology based on interviews, focus group, and very, very precise content analysis. By using the copying model of user adaptation, he was able to identify 7 postures and 7 strategies for concerning CEO adaptation. So it's a good work because Robert can now help his colleague and all the community of insurance to be able to copy this change concerning digital transformation, and he will use it to help CEO and especially CEO from small companies to develop a reflexive practice on her strategy concerning digital transformation. So I'm very glad to present this work, and I really enjoy working with Robert, who was very perseverant and very I don't know how to say that, but he was able to go on a very difficult way. I have learned a lot also concerning insurance company. I didn't know anything about insurance company, so for me it was a total discovery. And I really appreciate the enthusiasm of Robert concerning research. So I wish the best to Robert. I wish also that we will be able to follow our research collaboration, because we have identified a lot of ways to explore. And I'd like also to thank very much Professor Florence Laval, Professor Nathalie Mitef, and Professor Jean Moscarola, who were engaged in the jury and who have made a very nice contribution concerning this work. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Dudésert, and congratulations, Dr. Sojic. Then we go to Dr. Martine Story-Lamarck. She has been supervised by Professor Baredi. Unfortunately, she could not be here today. So I will quote what she said. Professor Baredi said that I had the chance to meet Martine Story through her husband, Thierry Lamarck, and Professor Deschamps after a workshop on emotion in business transfer, context which proved to be premonitory in terms of exchange with Martine throughout the DBA until the defense. Martine entered the DBA with a certain impatience and the main goal of sticking to the agenda, which sometimes is not very easy when it comes to research work. Martine is a great professional, and she showed an unwavering determination and hard work, even in difficult time. I wish her much happiness in her future professional life, marked by the learning developing during this DBA. Congratulations, Martine. I am very happy that you are now part of the doctor, part of the alumni group of Business Science Institute. Congratulations. And then we will ask to Professor Yves Pesqueux to give its testimony about Dr. Chenxiang Nangang. Please.
Many thanks, Michel. It's time to celebrate, so I enjoy it, and I am very happy to be on the floor now, and I am very happy for Eric Florentin, and also for the other, and also for the team. I am proud to belong, because with so much candidates having got a doctorate, it means that we as a team have worked a lot, and they as candidates have also worked a lot. So many thanks. Eric Florentin has re-challenged the relation between information and decision by stressing the importance of weak signals. The great originality of his thesis is based on the fact that he worked on multiple case studies made in an African country, Cameroon. These case studies were made at big, middle-sized, formal companies, so it means small, big companies in a way. And in fact, his thesis was induced by the fact that some companies have bankrupted because they were blind in front of the ways to which the environment has changed. It was a case for bank transfers. This company has forgotten that mobile money would have changed everything. It was a fact with construction companies because it's only a question of cement and mortar. It's also a question of electronics, of digital inside. So it means that even in this area, things have changed. And it is also the case for hotels, because with Airbnb and other platforms, competitors have appeared, and a lot of hotels managers have forgotten that this event has occurred. So he would asking, but why? Why these people could be so blind in front of what has happened? And he has put to the fore the notion of weak signals. When these weak signals have appeared, something should have happened in the strategic decision making. And why it didn't happen? So he has made research, theoretical research. He has discovered several notions: organizational ambidextry, exploration, exploitation, the tension between exploration, exploitation, the cognitive path dependency. And in relation with this concept, he has built very splendid field studies, because he did these field studies during the pandemic. And it's really difficult to get answers during a pandemic, even especially if you should make research with a lot of face-to-face appointments with CEOs who has other things to think than answering a questionnaire or answering an interview. And so I must put to the fore the fact that it was a difficult task. So many thanks for having done this, because it was not easy. Key aspects of his studies: the importance of strategic information system, the importance of organization ambidextry, which is not only something related with developed countries. Why? Because organizational ambidextry brings to be able to challenge the tension, exploration, exploitation in terms of information. Third aspect, the ability to be able to grasp and understand weak signals. So the real key message is you should be able in the strategic decision making, you should be able to go beyond cognitive path dependency to be able to understand what happens with weak signals. It was also a personal, very interesting relation, because, but it's the case for every supervisor here. When you supervise someone, you build a relation because you interact often, you discuss often. And so I should put this very clear, this very enjoying memory on the floor. Many thanks, Eric, Florentin. Congratulations and the best for you in the next future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Yvon Pesqueux, and congratulations to Dr. Eric Changang. And then I will give the floor to Professor Lapomola, representing Schema Business School, the partner of Business Science Institute for the Digital DBA degree. Please, Professor Lapomola, are you here?
Okay. Yes, I'm here. I was muted. Okay. So thank you, and I'm very happy to be here today because this program, this adventure was launched in 2017 by two crazy people like Isabelle Walsh and Michel Calica, and they decided that something different was needed by the market, and they launched the DBA, the Digital Dba, and after few years, 4 years now, we have more than 40 candidates, and today we are celebrating, we are congratulating, let me say, 6 new doctors that developed, they studied the research in a very difficult time, and I'm very happy to see them here today. And I want to congratulate Dr. Gard, Dr. Katzma, Dr. Mazzialetti, Dr. Nagy, Dr. Key, Dr. Sirri for their achievement. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Professor Lapomola, representing today Schema Business School. I must say that I enjoy a lot this partnership with Schema Business School, and also, of course, with you. And now we can award the Digital DBA students, and the first one is Didier Dr. Vivien Garnès. The supervisor is Professor Kian Goudarzi. And I have heard, Dr. Vivien Garnès, that you did an amazing work. Please, Professor Goudarzi.
Thank you, Professor Calica, and good afternoon, everybody. Yes, Vivien Garnès has done a great thesis and a great defense yesterday. Vivian's thesis title is Influencer Marketing Return on Investment. And in few words, I will tell you, 1, why it is a great job, and 2, what are his results and impacts. Why it is great? It is great because it focuses on a hot topic in marketing, influencer marketing. It's really, really a hot topic. It is great because his research relies on behavioral data. And this is exceptional in the marketing literature because we mainly focus in marketing research on attitude, perceptions, and Vivien is an entrepreneur. He's the CEO of an important company in the influencer business. And he collected real data on the return of investment in influencer marketing campaign. And finally, why it's great, I have to say the defense yesterday was amazingly interesting. Because Vivien, yes, was really good, and because also he received great questions by the jury member, and I really want to thank Professor Stéphane Brogliato-Lajoigny, Sébastien Lartier, and Lars Meyer for great interaction yesterday. Okay, 2, the impact and the result. His research shows the effect of the influencer characteristic on the return on investment within an online marketing campaign, and especially the influence of the number of followers and the engagement through average comment and average comment likes. And he uses structural equation modeling. His results go against a leading idea in the industry. The number of followers of the influencer actually has a negative impact on the return on investment. And actually, the number of followers of the influencer has a stronger influence on the cost than on the sales. So we can understand the results, but when you see it, it's really reshaped the way you organize the cost of a marketing campaign. So Vivien, or I should say Dr. Garnes, really congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you, Professor Goudarty. Congratulations, Dr. Vivien Garnes. If I am well informed, you generate this week 2 babies. One is the thesis, and moreover, you are a father, if my information are correct. So
this is congratulations. Exactly correct. Thank you very much.
Congratulations for that. Okay. And then we will move to Dr. Badi Gasma, and the supervisor is Professor Max Falax. And please, Max.
Thank you very much, Michel. Thanks as well to François Chevalier, to Jean-François Gajewski and Nathalie Mitev, because they said that this DBA was an outstanding thesis and an excellent presentation. So I was very proud about that because it's my first DBA supervision in the BSI, and I was so proud to have Badi. He's in finance, I'm in human resources management. I look after him, he's still alive. We were talking about corruption in GCC countries. It was really challenging to talk about Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, Dubai, and all these countries dealing with bad practices in earning management, but we have tried to do our best, and we went on a quantitative way to be careful on the subject. So he went on listed firm, he did a very good job, and the thing is, he succeeded. Really, Badi addressed the subject with openness, with honesty, with sensitivity, and earning management, we know it better now as far as we have to go with further practices. So the practical implications are with machine learning and artificial intelligence in order to reduce the level of corruption. This approach has been really realistic. I did enjoy a lot because Badi is cheerful, extrovert, fast learning. I did enjoy a lot being with him. And the thing is, he's full of joy. The sun always shines with him, and it has been really excellent to keep going on that. Thanks God, I met him only once because he was stuck in Bahrain because of the lockdown. So we had plenty of opportunity in order to go online, and I have the opportunity to be in Dubai and to meet him very soon. So I will follow in Arabic. Mabrouk habibi لشرفنا commandi al-aftar fi DBA program. Il Alika in Dubai. Thank you very much indeed.
Congratulations, Professor Max Falax, and for this adaptation to the language, one of the language of Badi Gasma.
I wanted to say as well, he's a father as well. On the same day of your presentation,
absolutely.
He had a baby as well.
Yeah, I wanted to mention that also. There is a huge impact of Business Science Institute in the field of the thesis. We know that, but we ignore that there is also a huge impact in the field of new baby. So
yeah,
congratulations.
Michel, I almost had a heart attack because it was half an hour before the oral presentation. So I was a bit scared about that.
Thank you very much. And congratulations, Dr. Beduvaria.
Yeah.
And
really.
now, thank you. I would like to congratulate Dr. Mazialetti. I had the pleasure yesterday to participate to your defense thesis, and unfortunately, Professor Labrati is not available this afternoon. He is teaching, and I will ask to Professor Mitev to give us a testimony. Please, Professor Mitev.
Hello, everybody, and hello, Dr. Mazialetti. I'm delighted that you are now a doctor. So I'm going to read the brief comments that Professor Labrati has written for me to read to you today. Supervising the work of Mr. Mazialetti during almost 2 years was a real pleasure. First, he is a hard worker and deserves, I agree, the title of DBA. Congratulations from me too. Second, he was always on time and sent me periodic updates. Finally, he was cool and a smiling student. Now, regarding the content of his DBA thesis, I want to say that it's a perfect balance between academic background and practical concerns. I'm sure that this work will help his company, and then he can produce great academic articles based on this excellent study. Dear Dr. Masialetti, we will keep in touch, and congratulations. You really deserve this title of DBA. Well done.
Thank you very much, Professor Mitev, and congratulations, Dr. Masialetti. You did a good job. And then we will go to Dr. Nagdi and Natalie Mitev. You will give us a testimony, please.
Yes, let me get, okay, so I'm also going to, hello, Julian. Professor Walsh has also sent me a text to read for you, and congratulations from me as well, of course. So here's what Professor Walsh has written for you. Julian's thesis, investigating the managerial blurring of employee goals, sheds light on the counterintuitive managerial behavior. His work helps understanding and explaining why many managers behave in a way that appears to go against their firm's best interest and their own interest. They purposefully blur employee goals, whereas it has been proven that goal specificity improves employee performance. The theoretical contribution of his work are extremely significant, and the managerial ones also. His work complements and extends an existing management theory, which is one of the theories most applied in the business world, the goal-setting theory. Through his work, Julian conceptualizes a new second-order aggregate construct, managerial blurring of employee goals and its various dimensions. He shows that this new construct impacts directly on goal specificity, for which he proposes a measure anchored into theory and practice. He also shows that performance management alternatives partially mediate the effect of goal specificity on performance. Supervising Julian has been an honor for Professor Walsh. His commitment and the thoroughness of his work has made her supervision work a real pleasure. He is the best doctoral she has supervised so far. Julian sets very high standards. The challenge for her current doctoral students is to do as well, or better.
Thank you very much, Professor Mitev, and congratulations, Dr. Nadi. I remember our first meeting a long time ago, and I was impressed by your capability of working. Okay, thank you. We go now to Dr. Key, who will be introduced by Dr. Boukeff, please.
Hi, everyone. I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to supervise this dissertation. This dissertation handles a very interesting research question, which is the relationship between online word of mouth and offline word of mouth, and the extent to which they influence the buying decision. This is a very important question, because when we look to the research, they either handle online word of mouth or offline word of mouth. So the originality of this dissertation is to combine both of them and try to understand the relationship between them. So in order to answer this research question, the thesis is organized in 3 papers. So paper 1 and paper 2 are qualitative research and tries to explain the relationship between online word of mouth and offline word of mouth through exploratory research. And finally, the 3rd paper uses quantitative research and shows through a survey and statistical analysis the relationship between online word of mouth and offline word of mouth. So basically the results are really very interesting and provide valuable insights for managers, and notably for Dr. Key, who is involved in this in this problematic for his work. So basically, the results of his dissertation are applied in his work, and there is a potential of publication regarding these results. I would like to congratulate Dr. Key for the work he did and his ability to constantly improve his work and the extent to which he was reactive to answer and integrate my different comments. He was able to master both qualitative and quantitative approaches, which provides a very rigorous methodology to the dissertation. So I'm really pleased about the journey and also about the outcomes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Boukeff. We are very happy because this thesis from an Australian student is a thesis based on article, and it is one of the format that we advise at the beginning of the seminar. So congratulations, Dr. Key. And then we will travel a little bit from Australia. We will go to Middle East and also to the States for Dr. Lindita Siri and Professor Denise Potofsky. You are presently in the States. Are you here?
Yes, I am. Hello.
Thank you very much.
Hello, and thank you to everyone. I would like to say three things. First, congratulations, Lindita. I am so proud of your accomplishment in successfully defending your thesis, which focused on a topic that we've all learned a little bit more about in these past few years. The topic has been resilience. Throughout this journey, I have been tremendously impressed and inspired by your professionalism, your determination, and yes, your resilience. The second thing I'd like to say is thank you. Thank you to everyone at BSI. I appreciate you and the work that you have done to get us to this moment. And to Dr. Siri, I have been delighted and honored to have been a part of your development as a doctoral student, as a researcher and a scholar, and as a friend and colleague. You are amazing. And the third thing I'd like to say is let's get started. Yesterday, when all the juries concluded and the defenses were over, most of us said things like, "You did it," and "At last, I'm done." But keep in mind that it was a thesis, not a memoir. In the United States, we refer to the graduation ceremony as commencement, commencement, a beginning. So Lindita, this is just the beginning of the great things you will do and accomplish. And I feel very privileged to be here today to see you go forward as Dr. Siri. So to you and to all the new doctors of the DBA, congratulations, thank you, and to new beginnings.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Denise Potofsky, for being with us and for supervising this thesis. Congratulations also, Dr. Lindita Siri. I remember also the meeting that we had. Congratulations. We go now. We move for the supervisor to Niamey, Professor Boubacar Baidari, and the students is Mohamed Laid. And I will ask to Professor Pierre-Jean Bengozi, please, to take the floor.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. I'm very pleased to welcome and to present the DBA of Mohamed Lai, personally because I had the opportunity as Professor Referent in Dakar to meet him and to discuss with him. And I should say that he's among the most serious and regular and efficient students I saw not only in the BSI, but also in other universities. So really congratulations, Dr. Lai. I should also add some comment made by the Professor Baidari, who could not attend this diplomation this afternoon. And Professor Baidari underlined that regarding the thesis topic, the road infrastructure, which is the main subject of Mohamed Lai, because his dissertation deals with the question of the performance optimization in major public infrastructure projects in the case of Ageroute in Senegal. And regarding this topic, the road infrastructure provides the basis for economic life and generate expected social effects. Of course, hence, its role is very important in the socio-economic development of the nation and of the states. And this importance means that time and cost overruns and quality defects are, of course, and desirable outcomes in road projects. And to this end, Dr. Lai addressed the following research question: how can the performance of a road project be optimized within the framework of a broader stakeholder vision? This perspective, Mr. Lai thesis methodology is based on both the quantitative analysis of the results in terms of time, of course, of quality, of taking into consideration 41 major road projects carried out by Ageroute in Senegal over 10 years from 2007 until 2016. And additionally, he developed a qualitative analysis of 34 semi-structured interviews with representatives from road project stakeholders. And the results are managerial recommendations that can be effectively put into practice. Regarding the impact of the thesis, Dr. Lei's research resulted in the identification and analysis of the roles of each of the stakeholders: the project owner, the design office, the project manager, the contractor, the founder, the user, the residents, and their role in optimizing the performance and the global performance of the road project. In terms of managerial impact, they come from, on the one hand, the identified role of the various stakeholders, which are very clearly identified at each stage of the road project cycle, from the identification, the preparation, the implementation, and the evaluation of the project. And on the other hand, this managerial impact analyzes role, relating them to the performance criteria, namely the effectiveness, efficiency, and the relevance. On the theoretical level, the thesis, in the thesis, Mr. Lai is able to prove that the performance of the road project is explained by the role of the different stakeholders, and not only by the role of the project owner and of the founder. Moreover, these roles were contextualized according to the environment of the road project in Senegal. And in addition, the said role make it possible to optimize the performance of road project by taking into account the criteria of user satisfaction, local residents, and environmental protection. As a conclusion, Professor Baidari says that he would like to say that, I already say that Mohamed Lai is a very good doctoral student. He has worked conscientiously from the beginning to the end of the process, producing the monthly reports. He has taken into careful account the observation of his supervisor and other professors of Business Science Institute during the supervisory seminars. So congratulations, Mohamed, from part of your supervisor, Professor Baidari, but also from my part. So congrats.
Thank you very much, Professor Bengozi. You keep the floor, please, for the next students. And what a coordination, Frédéric, congratulations. And about Dr. Zinungo Divali Ouattara, please.
Okay, once more, I should say that I was this time as a supervisor, and not only as a Professor Ferrand, I've been very pleased to supervise the work and the DBA of Divali Ouattara. Because first, he's a practitioner with a great experience in the project management and the quality management for almost 20 years in Ivory Coast and Guinea as well. But it's also a very kind and rigorous and conscious students. It was very pleasant and fluid, I should say, to work with him, because when you make remarks, you have some feedback, and he's taking into account the comment or the suggestion we can make as a supervisor or as a professor. It's very interesting that we don't have to fight in order to go ahead. It's quite convenient. His subject, the subject of the DBA, is the stakes of the certification, quality certification ISO 9001, and the weak commitment of the Ivorian small and medium firm regarding this certification ISO and the management of the quality. Oh, when we say that, firstly, I should say that it's a really very important question, because, of course, the management of the quality is a strategic asset for the growth and for the development of the firms on the one hand, but on the other hand, we should say that it's not a very sexy, I should say, or attractive subject at the beginning, because it looks like more an engineering question, and the norms and the certification process can be not so attractive and for regarding other subjects. But nevertheless, they are really very important for the management and for the firm, and they are also very interesting from the theoretical viewpoint, because, of course, they open, it's very clear in the development made by Dr. Ouattara, in which extent the norm and standard in the industry are the result of bottom-up perspectives, namely the sharing of best practice and the concretization of best practice in norms and standards, which can then be applied and extended to a large variety of firms in any country. Or, on the other hand, the same norm and standard are a way to improve the quality, but turn also a new form of compliance, because subcontractors, partners will ask to comply with these norms, which turn to be a constraint and not only an opportunity to develop the best practice. So this was firstly an important point. The second point is in which extent this industrial norm, are specific to some countries, or can be global and applied everywhere in Occidental countries where they have been developed, as well as in Africa, in Ivory Coast, namely. And it's interesting because, of course, the reason for the weakness of commitment of the small firm can be also related to the weakness of the global ecosystem, on the one hand, the training, the education, the structure of the companies, their capital, their capacity to invest, but also to the cultural perspective and the ways the manager, but also the public service can be willing or not to suggest and to support such a certification process. On all these questions, I will not go too much into the detail, but in all these questions, I should say that the DBA of Dr. Ouattara is very interesting, because it's very serious in the methodology, an inductive methodology with a lot of interviews and exchange with practitioners of a large variety of companies on the one hand, with a very serious work on this aspect. But also the quality of the eDBA is to provide managerial recommendation, and from this extent, I should say that the quality of the recommendation is as high as the quality of the result and of the discussion, with some recommendation regarding how to implement and to formalize and to reinforce the global ecosystem and the institutional framework of the Ivorian small companies. So I will not go too much into the detail, but I'm really convinced that the quality of this dissertation is the result of one hand as well as a recommendation. There's no doubt that Dr. Ouattara will be in position to push and to support this recommendation in the future and for the wellness and the growth of the Ivory Coast. So congratulations, Dr. Ouattara, and it was really a pleasure to accompany you during this travel.
Thank you very much, Professor Bengozi, and congratulations, Dr. Ouattara. I will remind to everybody, please, to close the microphone. Close your microphone, please, everybody. Thank you very much. And then I would like to congratulate Dr. Jean Changai and Professor Bengozi. You will give the testimony of Professor Irigoyen, please.
Yes. I didn't have the opportunity to meet a lot Dr. Changai, but it's a real pleasure for me to read the comment that Professor Irigoyen had sent us regarding the supervision and the quality of the dissertation of Dr. Changai. Professor Irigoyen mentioning that it was a great pleasure for him to supervise and direct the DBA thesis of Jean Changai. And he added that Jean's work was a very high quality and high standard. His thesis is entitled Contribution to the Knowledge of Bank Financing of Small and Medium Company in Togo, the banking point of view. And this topic is in fact the first part of a more general deep teach devoted to the issue of the bank financing in Togo, and which would also include the point of view of the demand for credit from small and medium enterprise. And the originality of Jean Changai research, this research is part of the behavioral finance approach and is based on the qualitative methodology that allowed him to develop a conceptual framework of credit decision making in the Togolese context. And this alone represents an essential contribution of the thesis, the knowledge of the specific situation and context of the Togolese banking system. All in all, Professor Irigoyen concludes saying that the work presented and defended by Jean Changai demonstrates undeniable qualities of research attitude, which he hopes will enable him to carry out a PhD thesis in order to analyze the second part of the deep teach devoted to the banking financing of small and medium company in Togo. So,
thank you
and felicitation, Dr. Changai.
Congratulations, Dr. Changai, for your achievement. And now, please, Professor Ulrike Mayhofer, can you take the floor, please, for Dr. Soumaré Oumar?
Sure, thank you. So Dr. Oumar Soumaré has prepared his thesis on the international development of Malian agro-industrial companies. The objective of the work was to explain how Malian companies can overcome internal and external obstacles to succeed their regional expansion. The work focuses on the Malian Koba Group, where Dr. Soumaré is also one of the top managers. The theoretical framework of the thesis relies on the incremental approach of the Uppsala model and the literature on management in the African context. The empirical study is based on 25 semi-structured interviews and a questionnaire sent to managers of the Koba Group, 3 other Malian companies and their stakeholders. The findings reveal that Malian companies are facing major obstacles when expanding regionally, namely political and economic instability, security issues, corruption, weak institutions, as well as high operating costs. To overcome these obstacles, Malian companies should use local raw material, offer a competitive selling price, have a regional logistics network, and benefit from the involvement of their management in institutional networks. The DBA thesis has strong managerial implications for Malian companies, but also for foreign companies who wish to develop in the Malian market. Dr. Oumar Soumaré was an exemplary doctoral student who has succeeded in building the bridge between academia and management practice. Oumar, it was a great pleasure to accompany you in this journey, and I wish to express you my warmest congratulations.
Thank you, Professor Mayhofer, and congratulations, Oumar. You did a great job. Thank you, Valentina and Professor Eko Angelsten, for this music break. Before giving the floor to Professor Jean-Pierre Elfer, President of the Academic Committee of Business Science Institute, I would like, of course, on behalf of all the professors to congratulate all our doctor, our 28 doctor. But I would like also to tell them that the journey is not finished. Now you are a doctor, and now you have to create impact. You have to create impact based on your thesis. It means that you have to make conferences, you have to produce articles, both for professional journal and academic journal, and you have to publish book. And also, of course, you can publish your main result on the impact journal on the website of Business Science Institute. We will, of course, contact you very soon. But now it's an important time, and we will ask to Professor Jean-Pierre Elfer to take the floor.
Oh, thanks, Michel. Hello, my friends. Now it's time for the awards session. So it's a great honor for me, and I am a little bit stressed, but perhaps all the doctors are stressed too. First of all, and because I've been involved in the process, I can say that for this specific intake in September 2021, all the jury's members, the academic committee, and every people can say very, very clearly that the global quality of this session is amazing. And we can be, I can be, we can be all together really proud of the increasing, I'm not saying increasing every year, but of the very excellent quality of the thesis, the defenses for this session. Some words about the process. The process is with different steps. The first one is your supervisor, dear doctors, your supervisors are putting grades on 5 items according to the impact. Perhaps, and it's not a joke, let me 1 second to say that finally, perhaps BSI can change its name. BSI is Business Science Institute. My suggestion is perhaps we can say Business Science Impact, because finally impact is really in the DNA of BSI. We can have perhaps 2 eyes, Business Science Institute committed to impact. And when we say impact, the first impact is managerial impact. Managerial impact. For sure, we check societal impact too, but certainly managerial impact is so important in for BSI. So your supervisor, the doctors, are putting grades on 5 items. The first one is the extent, the magnitude of a thesis. A thesis very broad, got at that time a real good grade. The second item is influence. Influence, it is finally a grade for impact. It is the second one. The third one is brightness, because finally a thesis, a DBA thesis should communicate to different audiences. So the third item is brightness. The fourth one is coherence. We know that in a thesis, there are different parts, gap, methodology, intellectual contribution, managerial contributions. The fourth grade is coherence. And the fifth one is feasibility. Feasibility of the recommendations we can find in a thesis. And with the results, with these grades, we try to consolidate all the grades for all the doctor thesis. And at that time, we have finally we have three theses. For that, for this thesis, the global impact, the global grades have been really excellent. And finally, we have three theses. And because it's difficult sometimes to decide what is the best one, we ask a second step for the process. In the second step, we asked 2 of our colleagues, very committed to juries, very committed to thesis supervisions, to check the 3 nominees, because at that time, perhaps we can see the 3 nominees. If yes, now it's not a secret. And the 3 nominees are Dr. Julia Plunch, we start with a lady, then Dr. Umar Soumaré, and Dr. Cyril Vidal. And the 3 theses have been analyzed by the second step, the two colleagues who are very, very, very committed to analyze the thesis. And finally, for them, it was really difficult to say who should got the gold medal, who should got the silver medal, and who should got the bronze medal. And finally, these opinions have been sent to academic council. I am so happy and so proud to chair the academic council. And finally, the final decision of the academic council during a plenary session, the last decision was, wow. You remember our Dr. Honoris Causa said many times, wow. And finally, around the table, the idea was, wow. And it was really difficult to decide who can got the gold, who can got the silver, and who can got the bronze. Finally, after really a very long exchanges between the members of the academic council, finally, the academic council decided yesterday evening that we will deliver 3 gold medals this year. And it's really my pleasure to say that the 3 theses with different angles, because they are different and we don't have the same tutors, the same supervisors. But finally, these 3 theses on different bases, different extents, different angles in the research, finally, it was so difficult to say that one is better than the others. Academic council decided that we can deliver 3 gold medals for this 2021 session. Congratulations to all you 3. And now I suggest that the 3 not nominees, but the 3 awards guys can, because you did that before with your supervisor, but perhaps you can have some minutes, very short minutes, to explain the managerial recommendations we decided to award with the academic council, and with all the process. And it's time for me just 1 second to really thank deeply, all the colleagues committed to this process. Please, Julia.
Thank you very much. Wow. Dear Professor Kalika, dear Professor Helfer, dear audience, first of all, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for your interest in my research work, but as well for this valuable award. It's a great pleasure for me. So based on my personal experience as a member of the board of our family business, Rügenwalder Spezialitäten, with 2 production sites in the peripheral regions of Germany, I chose the question, which factors motivate managers to choose an employer in rural areas for my research work? This is a highly relevant topic because the war for talents is having an even greater impact in peripheral regions because of the urbanization trend. Therefore, the companies in rural areas need special strategies to fill their pipelines, ensure their survival, and drive their development. Due to gaps in scientific research work in this area, the method of grounded theory was chosen after Strauss, thus enabling a structured exploration of the research question. 8 family businesses in 2 rural regions of Germany were selected. 16 executives in top management positions were interviewed, and a total of 18 interviews were conducted. This basis was supported with 16 profile analyses and additional data. Next slide, please. In this research work, I have constructed a checklist for managers, which is helpful during the whole process of recruitment. It is based on the evaluated motivation factors of managers who apply for companies in rural areas. In summary, it is important to target the right person with problem solution for their current life situation in order to recruit successfully. Recruiting is no longer just about technical qualifications and cross-disciplinary skills. You have to look at the person as a whole and develop an empathetic way of view. In terms of HR management, in particular, it means understanding the applicant's needs and offering individual solutions for them. It is known from change management that the need for information increases significantly during changes. So a company can take this advantage of this by creating transparency. In many cases, contact with the new home exists only through the company itself. So therefore, every contact with the applicant should be used to market not only the company, but also the region itself. A successful integration in the community, in the organization on the one hand, as well as in the society, is the basis for long-term employee retention. To achieve this, the company should consider the various factors that lead to the new place of residence becoming home. To this end, the unmet needs of employees must be evaluated. The special requirements for families, as well as the leisure and cultural offerings, should preferably be taken into account. To exchange the exchange with companies in the neighborhood, as well with the state and municipal bodies, is recommended in order to work together on the attractiveness of the region. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Julia. And now this certificate. Next one, next nominee, next award professor, Dr. Umar Soumaré.
Et bonjour professeur, bonjour docteur, bonjour doctorant. Je suis très ému. Merci beaucoup pour cette distinction. Donc, je suis le directeur général adjoint du groupe Keita, qui est l'une des plus importantes sociétés au Mali. Je suis manager de formation. La thèse que j'ai soumise le 28 de ce mois s'intitule « L'internationalisation régionale des sociétés agro-industrielles maliennes en Afrique, le cas du groupe Koba ». Comme résultat, recommandation et impact, nous avons utilisé la matrice d'Einzover améliorée par le professeur Kalika et adaptée à notre cas et situation. Maintenant, nous avons étudié notre phénomène fortement contextualisé et nous avons fait des allers-retours entre le terrain et les différentes théories. En plus de notre cas, qui est le groupe Koba, nous avons sélectionné les deux premières sociétés exportatrices et une autre société qui n'exporte pas, malgré sa taille importante. La part de ces exportations formait 70% selon les chiffres de la Direction nationale de l'industrie. Les entretiens très ouverts que nous avons réalisés, c'est à savoir 25 entretiens, avec seulement 5 questions ouvertes, ont été réalisés pour laisser les interrogés s'exprimer librement, afin de ne pas les influencer, tout en gardant notre objectivité. Et l'utilisation des questionnaires qui avaient pour but d'administrer des questions de précision et d'ordre d'importance. Et réaliser les entretiens prolongés par les questionnaires et de façon simultanée à l'aide d'une tablette en présentiel a été choisi pour avoir des réponses pertinentes et fiables. Nous avons aussi utilisé une plateforme composée de plusieurs logiciels Strengths qui a servi à effectuer une analyse de contenu. J'ai pu réaliser cette méthodologie grâce à ma forte expérience et les revues littéraires effectuées. Ainsi, nous avons pu gérer les limites de l'étude d'un seul cas unique et des méthodes quantitatives et qualitatives. Maintenant, comme principale recommandation, résultats et impact, nous avons connu une forte similitude entre les spécificités et les obstacles internes et externes. Durant notre étude empirique également, nous avons constaté une relation de cause à effet qui peut être inversée entre la faiblesse des institutions et la crise sécuritaire. Pour surmonter les obstacles internes et externes, les sociétés agro-industrielles maliennes doivent utiliser les matières premières locales comme le mil, le sorgho et le maïs dans les recettes de production en les mélangeant avec les matières premières importées et aussi viser la diaspora malienne qui est hors du Mali et aussi hors de l'Afrique. Le principal constat que nous avons eu à faire est que nos ventes locales représentent 30% dans les exportations. Donc, comme impact managérial fort, durant cette recherche, j'ai pu convaincre mon président directeur général à travers mes analyses durant la revue littéraire et toutes mes analyses professionnelles de lancer une nouvelle marque qui sera entre la marque haut de gamme et la marque bas de gamme en termes de prix et en termes de qualité. Donc, cette marque s'appelle Pastaren et nous avons lancé il y a 5 mois et aujourd'hui, elle occupe la première place en termes de vente au Mali et aussi dans les pays régionaux. L'effet surprise positive aussi est que ça a diminué les importations frauduleuses parce qu'avec l'insécurité, on avait énormément de problèmes avec les produits contrebandiers. La page suivante. Voilà. Donc, nous allons donc conclure par ce proverbe malien qui dit qu'on ne laisse pas tomber son poisson dans la mer pour essayer de prendre celui sous les pieds. Ce qui illustre très bien nos résultats empiriques à travers les interviews, à travers toutes les analyses de contenu et aussi notre cadre théorique qui est le modèle Uppsala, qui est une version depuis 1977 avec plusieurs versions revisitées jusqu'en 2020. Donc, ce qui recommande d'abord une base solide pour réussir l'internationalisation. Je vous remercie, chers professeurs, chers docteurs, chers invités.
Merci beaucoup. Et la troisième récompense, M. Cyril Vidal.
Me voici. C'est bon? Tout le monde me voit? Oui. Oui. Thank you so much. I will switch to my native language because I prefer French. On change les règles du jeu en cours de route, ce n'est pas juste. Alors, rassurez-vous, ces propos ne sont pas de moi, ils sont extraits d'un entretien que j'ai eu avec un notaire. Vous savez, celui par qui vous devez passer pour finaliser l'acquisition d'un bien immobilier, car il dispose d'un monopole et d'un tarif fixé par l'État. Oui, mais voilà, en 2015, une loi qu'on nomme la loi Macron est venue réglementer l'exercice de cette profession en imposant la création de nouvelles études sur l'ensemble du territoire, mais surtout en prévoyant une révision de leurs tarifs tous les 5 ans pour, je cite, tenir compte du coût réel de production de leurs actes. Pour faire simple et imagé, en gros, c'est le même gâteau, il n'est pas plus gros, mais davantage de personnes vont se le partager. Mais comme si cela ne suffisait pas, eh bien en même temps, la profession est attaquée en permanence par les avocats, qui veulent son monopole, mais aussi par certains politiques qui s'interrogent sur l'utilité même de cette profession. Vous saisissez où je veux en venir? Eh bien, le notaire qui est avant tout un chef d'entreprise, se retrouve désormais face à quelque chose qu'il ne connaissait pas, l'incertitude pour son avenir. Et c'est justement ce à quoi je me suis intéressé dans mon travail de recherche. Slide suivant. Ma thèse s'intitule « L'incertitude managériale du notaire, quel repositionnement stratégique adopter pour l'avenir ?» Elle a été co-dirigée par le professeur Denis et le professeur Moret. Pour mon travail de recherche, j'ai voulu comprendre ce qui était à l'origine de la fameuse incertitude que rencontrent les notaires. Par une approche méthodologique rigoureuse et en reconstruisant ma représentation de la réalité, j'ai pu observer que ce n'était pas la loi Macron elle-même qui était à l'origine de l'incertitude, mais le rapport que le notaire entretient avec l'État, en sa qualité d'officier public, et par l'utilisation de son principal instrument, l'acte en la forme authentique. Nos travaux nous ont permis de comprendre que le notaire et l'acte en la forme authentique n'apportaient pas, ou plutôt n'apportent plus, une confiance pour le citoyen. Le notaire s'est en effet transformé en un outil utilisé par l'État dans la collecte de l'impôt et la signature de l'acte en la forme authentique, la sécurité de l'acte en la forme authentique ainsi observée est alors apparue comme un simulacre. Mais nous nous sommes interrogés, l'intervention d'un notaire est-il obligatoire? Le notaire détient-il vraiment un monopole? Par un raisonnement inductif, nous avons conçu et signé un acte d'avocat pour transférer la propriété d'un bien immobilier sans passer par un notaire. Et devinez quoi? Cela nous a permis de constater que le recours à un notaire n'est pas une obligation, contrairement à ce qui nous est présenté. C'est une simulation, elle n'existe pas. Au terme de nos travaux, il est maintenant possible de transférer la propriété d'un bien immobilier sans passer par un notaire. Nous pouvons donc affirmer que l'incertitude que rencontre le notaire pour la conservation de son monopole repose sur un monopole qui n'en est pas un. Nous pouvons ainsi répondre à la problématique en préconisant au notaire de repositionner sa fonction en redevenant un tiers de confiance, permettant à deux personnes qui se sont fait une promesse sur un temps court de leur apporter la confiance sur un temps long par l'établissement d'un contrat. En d'autres termes, qu'ils ne dressent plus des actes en la forme authentique dépendant et servant avant tout l'État, mais qu'ils fassent des actes de transfert de propriété en la forme notariée pour le citoyen. Prochaine slide. Mais quel est l'impact, ou plutôt quels sont les impacts de cette thèse? Eh bien, pour le notaire chef d'entreprise, à la suite de nos recommandations, son avenir et son business model peuvent maintenant dépendre de son utilité pour le citoyen et non plus d'une possible future re-réglementation de sa profession pour l'État. Pour la fonction de notaire, l'impact de notre thèse est justement de permettre, voire même d'imposer au notaire, de repenser son rôle et d'avoir une utilité différente pour le citoyen, mais aussi pour le ministère de la Justice pour la réalisation d'une nouvelle forme d'acte. Enfin, pour ma société, cela va me permettre de redéfinir mon offre en étant davantage au service des notaires. Nous allons développer et repenser les outils informatiques permettant aux notaires de faire, comme vous l'avez compris, des actes en la forme notariée. Je terminerai enfin en disant que grâce au DBA, le management a fait évoluer le droit. Voilà. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Cyril Vidal, and on behalf of Professor Jean-Pierre Elfer and me, I am very glad to deliver this certificate of the DBA Managerial Impact Prize with Julia and with Sumare. Congratulations to the three. And now our ceremony is nearly finished. Congratulations and thank you to all. But don't leave immediately. I have to tell you one thing. The first thing, please, Frédéric, is to highlight the role, the implication of all the Business Science Institute team. Everything works well during all the week. And it is thanks to Aline for the newsletter and the brochure. It is thanks to Jan for the IT support. It is thanks to Catherine for the support of the different group and the meeting. Thanks, of course, for Hugo today and during all the week. Our community manager is communicating and our network all the time. Thanks to Sylvain who prepare all the marketing document of Business Science Institute. Thanks to Caroline who take care about the alumni. Thanks to Ramunas who manage the video. Thanks of course to Stephen, and today Stephen, you did a great job managing for the first time. I'm not sure, but maybe it is for the first time in the world for a graduation. An instant translation, you know, it's an innovation of Zoom and it's an innovation of Business Science Institute. Thank you also to Samuel for the mailing he managed. Thank you to Yasmin taking care of the groups and also for all the German students. And of course, thank you to Frédéric, who has been a great manager of all this team. Really, you must know, and you told me, all the doctoral students, all the faculty, they send me messages of congratulations for the team. So I think that now we can really congratulate all the business science team. And that's not all, you know, I have a very good news now. I have a very good news. Yes, the very good news is that we will meet face to face in spring. 10th, 11th, 12th of March 2022 in Paris for a Spring Impact Seminar. During these 3 days will come our faculty, our doctoral students for defense, for follow-up seminar, and of course, our alumni. You will be with us in March in Paris for a huge Spring Impact Seminar. And I'm sure that we will be very glad that time to drink together. Let me anticipate. To drink together either some water, either some sparkling water, either some beer, or either some wine. We will see what we will drink. But anyway, please put in your agenda that 10, 11, and March, the doctoral student, the faculty will be in Paris. Okay. Thank you very much to all of you. It was really a pleasure to be with you this afternoon, and it will be a pleasure to meet you face to face in Paris, in the center of Paris, and you will see it will be amazing. The faculty will be here, and also the alumni will be here, and a lot of very, very many doctoral students will come. See you soon. Bye-bye.